So we left off remembering that we had a friend of ours that could not beat a rodent. We're not going to name names necessarily, but they like to take a lot of risks, and they really didn't want to have to recollect this right away. But literally, a Gerbine took on this individual. It's a Goliath. We won't say names. And literally watched him go toe to toe. Like, I was impressed. This little Gerbine just bounced around like a kangaroo rat, just literally going toe to toe boxing. But Pills came in, acted as the ref, and saved the day. At the end of it, you guys allowed a thief go. In doing so, you acquired. I gave you an extra one because I did the math wrong, but now you have 5 Gerbine. Apparently you had 4, but there's 5 on the map, so now you have 5 Gerbine. Now, you guys were originally starting in Loco downtown. Did you want to transition back to home base, or did you want to stay there and continue from there? You have acquired now 5 Gerbine, because that's what I put in your home base. Folk that have gone about and assisted by helping clean and tidy up the location thus far. They are your manpower, so to speak. You cannot take them with you to journey or quests. They will not fight for you unless they are fighting at the property, defending it for whatever reason seen. But did you want to pick up in downtown, sending them on their way, or did you want to pick up back at base?
I'm cool going back to home base. And do these rats have names?
You can absolutely try to ask them. Last we left off, they do speak Gerbine, and they speak another language that you guys have yet to identify. They speak 2 languages, though, and neither of them are common.
Okay, I'm just going to pick my favorite and then name him.
And what would the name be?
It's going to be William Defoe.
William Defoe. Okay. It's like, it's just kind of like there's like a little shrug, kind of Simoleon understanding of, sure, we had a discussion. Whether it really understands what you meant by that is a whole nother thing altogether.
Doesn't matter.
I have with animals, so I can ask.
Doesn't matter. His name's William Defoe.
Got it. It always looks, whenever it hears its name, that's the one.
I can't tell them apart, but when I say it,
you see its ears perks. It'll be a WDO for now until I make them special little signature designs.
I also instruct Charles not to eat William.
Charles acknowledges this and looks at the rest. Very interesting indeed. So everyone else is okay going to HQ?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
Okay. Got HQ. Here we go.
I'll call one of the other ones Martin.
All right. We'll name Martin in this one. You guys might not see it on your end, but once they start talking in the chat and stuff, it'll be very clear which one they are. Should have show their name. Oh, that's why. Hold on.
Then I will also name one of them. Let me see. Let me think. What's a good name? Sasha.
Sasha? Okay.
I call one Sasha.
You got it.
Why do I have a feeling that's like a sibling's name?
No, I don't have siblings.
Oh, okay. This would have been a perfect time. Would have been a perfect time.
So at base, you guys have 5 Gerbine, 3 of them being Martin, WDO, and Sasha. You guys notice that it's much cleaner here. They sealed up the sewer entry with a bolted down noise cancellation system. Later down the line, you might be able to benefit from that. But in the meantime, the Gerbine didn't like the noise. It was very unsettling. Some things are still broken and worn down, but utilized for what it is. On the left-hand side, where you see that bunch of pile of broken wood, that is actually a destroyed wall that happened in the process. That might have to be fixed later down the line. Otherwise, the yard and everything is clean. This is now your guys' property to do as is. You may move freely, etc. This is your guys' little square on the block. I dropped some info up in there for you guys. I know it was a lot, too long didn't read section, but overall, basically the way this stuff works is you guys get to decide what kind of structure you want to put forward for this. The basic 4 is keep, establishment, temple, or a tower. Tower favors research and magical spells. Temple favors deities if you guys have one or wish to choose to be under one, which will give boons and benefits based off of you removing other religions, so to speak, from town or local, depending where you are. The establishment is more of a potential tavern or a inn or a passing by game hall, etc., where you can get rumors, information, get stats about what you may face or won't face, etc. Even pick up little gigs. And then a keep is for particularly all of those minuscule down to the bare minimum, and then focusing on training, hiring, building a presence. Right now here in Clasp, to your guys is just an understanding, it's all a big HOA community. Nobody is the ruler. Nobody has complete control. At one point or another, there was a family. They now live on the other side of that bridge. They built their whole community over there, completely separate from the rest of Clasp. Yet Clasp has still thrived. So who will take it now? You are not the only ones here. There are other factions and families, though you haven't sent any welcome gifts, nor have you received any from any neighbors, though everyone knows you're there. Pete the Thief left you guys a burden to some, but an acceptance to you guys. And it's looking cleaner, though it needs a lot of love and work. The floor is yours.
Question.
Yes.
Can we at some point, so if we choose one now, like,
Huh?
let's say like
You can have as
town-
many as you want. Yeah, you can have all of them. You can have multiple of them down the line. It's more or less your own funding abilities and manpower. Though you build them all doesn't mean they're staffed, etc. Now, there are ways of acquiring people very easily. Every time you establish something, you guys all get a roll on a follower chart to see if any of you attract a particular person who's really excited based off of your accomplishment. Anytime you defend your property, there's a chance that someone will come to become a follower. Now, the book says every time it happens, everyone gets a follower. Now, I changed it a little to be more a percentage chance on who hears about you guys until you start building a reputation, because right now no one knows who you all are. But as you get more and more famous, eventually everyone will be rolling all the time, etc., based on your actions or involvement overall. At this time, you guys can each roll a D100 to see if anyone has heard of your acquirements and cleaning of the property so far.
So if we start this one off as like a tavern or something, can we down the line change this specific one to like a keep?
Yes, you can absolutely. So you can make it into a multi-structure. It doesn't have to just be one kind. You can expand on one. You can have all 4. At that point, it'll become more of like a fortification or a castle. It'll just have a different terminology of how it's seen to everyone else, but it'll still have the functions of everything you invest in. You can also adopt, acquire, take over, etc. Other locations if you see fit later down the line, if you have the means or power
We'll
to
take
do
over the
so.
whole town and we'll name it Cape Pills.
Perfect.
We can workshop the name.
Right. As long as it always has pills in it, I think he's okay with any of them.
Pills, pills, pills.
Sounds like drugs or something. Pills, pills, pills.
That's what I intended.
Because you have these 5 gerbeens, which are very handy workers, and the 3 of you guys with a decent little setting of situation, you guys can choose your first decision completely free without any cost. And top of it all, it'll be ready by next week. So you won't have to wait any crazy extended days. The days will also be cut down a lot more based off how many employees you have. That'll be a real simple math problem that I'll give to you guys. I mean, you don't have to solve it, but I'll show you the formula and it'll be like, okay, that's what we expect. And we're all on the same page.
You're saying
But-
we should choose what type of establishment it is today for free?
No, you guys can. Yeah, you guys can just spitball it right now if you wish to just humor it and see if you guys come up with something right away, or you guys can decide later. But the point is, the first one's free. The moment you do decide that, then we'll see, depending on, then we got to do the followers. I have your rolls for 2787. And once you guys decide, it depends on who may or may not be inclined to visit, including other random NPCs. But beyond that, there were a couple tasks you guys have yet to complete. So far, you took care of the downtown thief. You haven't reported it in, but you took care of it. You didn't capture them. You didn't kill them. You stopped maybe they
feel
kind of.
maybe we just don't report it.
Yeah, I mean, that one's kind of like a you got away and you won, but nothing to really report out of it. But otherwise, you got every other job still open.
We told
Yeah.
that guy we would look into it. Maybe.
True.
We did deal with it.
we
True.
did. I don't know that they actually got away with a bunch of stuff. So
This is like also accurate.
I don't
As
think
you
he
say
was
that,
asking.
give me a perception check, Pills. As you're hanging out in your guys'
God.
new HQ and you're like telling your
Pills,
buddies, I think they got away with nothing.
William Dafoe is like, you stupid. No. You stupid.
You see Sasha running over to William Dafoe and Martin, and it's like you hear all kinds of shit coming out of their pockets, like they're trading trade secrets, comparing treasures, seeing who got what. You guys didn't take anything from anyone. You just said, "Okay, we'll let you go." Sure. Like at the end of the day, there was no exchange and benefit to you guys, but they were raiding the place long before you got there. You say it and you go for it.
When I would cast speaking with animals, would I understand them?
You would understand that they are speaking in Gerbine, and then occasionally you see them look over their shoulder and they sound something like, and it's a bit more squeaky, a bit more sharp, and it's bird folk. And what you hear them discussing is basically their wares. They are very big. They're like, it's like Midgetville for them. They're full on adults like you dudes. They've been living a life just like you guys, and now they just work for someone else, and they're just like, look at what we got. They're just going through their shit, and they're talking about what they got. You imagine Hazel, based off of what you're hearing, they probably got easily around 37 to 45 gold worth of good stuff. Not money directly, but valuables they could off trade. And they seem to know what they're talking about. Like they know where to drop it off. They know they're very, very intellectual beings.
Okay.
That's a good point. Like, I don't want to speak with animals because they're not really like an animal. They're like a humanoid rat.
Yeah,
But
that's what I was asking.
Because
yeah.
they speak beast languages. That's why
Yeah.
she can understand them.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I got a cricket bouncing around my foot.
He's gonna get eaten. It's
Gonna die.
Yeah, they're vicious.
Bouncing around my foot.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
I didn't hear a cricket, but if he got a cricket down there and he's running, we might not see him.
Cricket. Oh, do
Yeah.
you know what a grasshopper is?
Yeah, I know the grasshopper.
It's kind of like a grasshopper.
Yeah,
Okay.
same thing. It's its cousin, like an alligator crocodile, right? Same shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. I mean, I know this too, but
What is it? Like a cricket is more like it's smaller and
I would just call it grass.
windier.
I'd say a grasshopper is just fatter, like it's just fuller, like it's not so skinny and scrawny. Like it has
It's big,
more,
yeah.
I know
physical
because-
mass to it.
Yeah, they're really big. I know that.
Yeah,
Crickets are smaller, grass,
I guess I know them too. I just didn't know.
and they make a
Yeah.
bunch of noise. Really annoying.
yeah.
Crickets are definitely
Crickets are more
smaller.
protein eatable. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. So
Wrath wins.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he got one.
we have thoughts on what we're. Or is anybody leaning one way or another on how we want to use this facility?
I'm trying to find some paper to write on here, but what were the 4 options again? Establishment, tower.
Establishment,
Keep.
establishment, keep, tower, or church. It's not a church. Temple.
Oh, temple.
Same thing, but temple is the
Okay.
word they use.
The Temple of Pills.
Yeah.
Sorry,
There you go.
we can workshop.
Temple of pills, pills rumors, pills
Maybe.
tricksters,
Maybe because you're so small, you want to fit all.
Right.
Like Napoleon complex.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
The Pills complex.
Yeah, there we go.
Temple.
Yeah.
Establishment.
Just has to have peas and everything, I love it.
He's gonna start
The
walking
difference-
around with his hand stuck in his.
Oh my god.
The establishment is like the all of
So
them.
yeah, It's also no. So the keep is so technically any of them could be all of them at a very minimal degree. Each one has a huge benefit though in general. The keep gives the party boost more about military-esque, so more so man, you all the boosts are on base while you're within your domain. So a keep is more AC, HP, con. A temple is more godly devoted. So, for instance, if any of you guys are paladins, I mean, really, you guys could be non-religious and just create one, like Pills said just now. And as long as you get enough following, you're going to get a gift. You basically get rewarded for removing neighbor religions. So if you see a religion across 5 feet that's not yours, knock that down. Boom, 5 favor to your deity. Literally, that's how it works. It's a transactional thing.
If you're not following pills, you know.
Just gotta get knocked off, Then you have your establishment, which is in favor to the most common of player benefit because it makes you money. You get to hear about rumors, and you could put in for intel. And intel basically would allow you to figure out what you might fight, how many you might fight, where secret places may be inside the places you may arrive to. That all costs, of course. You have to pay to gain, but you're also making 1,000 basically every month from the establishment itself, and it's like 100 gold for every like tier of investment you want to put in to try to find information, that kind of thing. And then now the way the followers work is when you guys complete things, you guys each have a different, based off your party, based off your class, a D100 list, and you guys roll a D100, and it depends on any of you guys can find a farmer, but one of you guys might be able to find somebody who literally will go with you guys on adventures and be always a level under you. They level up with you guys, kind of like a Dragon's Dogma, if any of you have played that. Or any other game where you kind of like Baldur's Gate, you're the main character, but you have 3 others, kind of thing, etc. Like a fine familiar that actually is better than a familiar because they have skills, talents. It's like a mini PC. And then you have retainers. Retainers are people who they work here at the establishment and they give you great benefits on their skills and talents. And then there are special guests. Special guests do not work for you guys in any way, but they like what you're doing. So they work in favor of you. You cannot boss them around, but you can ask them, maybe, could you help me out? Could you interrupt this? Can you get involved? Kind of thing. They're people you want, but you can't control.
And that's the keep?
That's all of them. You can get it from any of them, but
gotcha.
but whatever you have brings in a different group, a different audience. So it's like, if any of you guys played the game Soda Dungeon, it's like that. The more you build up your tavern, the more you can attract in general. You can get them all at anything. You can start as a keep, you can start as a temple, you can start as a religion. It doesn't matter. It just matters on the direction you keep it focused on. That's all you're going to be getting. So if you don't spread it out, you're going to be getting what you guys are specialized in, pretty much.
What was a tower?
A tower is research, so you can research magic spells. It has to be a spell any of you guys know, or you could attempt to create a new one with a chance at a failure and an unpredictable effect. So if you create spells that you know, the way that works is when you do it, you can have it boom like a larger audience. You can have it change the flavor. You could say, I know chain lightning, but I want it to chain against more people. We can do that at a chance risk with a bit of research. Or you want it to be a different element. We could do that. Basically, it's your guys' place to do your own kind of either creation of your own spells, which I am totally okay with, that have their own clauses and conditions, or modifying spells that already exist that you guys know to do completely other things. You can also make spell scrolls, sell them, give them to other players, give them to your followers, all of that, etc. later down the line as you guys build up your own interface, except what you do. Basically, finding loot you don't always want to sell if you know someone can use it at home.
I'm leaning more towards establishment or keep.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards the establishment. It feels like the best first thing. The other ones sound really good too. I could think of some really cool uses of the tower, but I feel like the establishment is like a very good
payoff.
Right.
That I also like the rumors. I was thinking this before he said it.
Yeah.
So we can maybe get some.
So the keep is really good at producing like an army almost, and then
So a keep would allow you to hire directly, train your own, and have faction kind of levies, basically, of other militaries, other help from neighbors, etc.
I feel like the establishment is like a good stepping stone towards one of the other ones to fund either an army from the keep, or research the tower, or evangelists from the church or temple.
I'll
Mhm.
be honest, you guys don't have a religious team, so the temple is definitely going to have to be your guys' own creation. It's not like you guys have a god to already fall on. So you know, unless you guys wanted to pick one up, you know, there are gods already, but I don't
I think we
believe.
do. I think we have one.
Well,
We just follow things.
you know, as you see fit. But there's no class that's diehard dedicated to a
We will
religion.
have 3
compared to the others,
gods.
yeah.
It will
But
be
yeah,
myself,
it'll be the Hydra, you know.
Elsa, and Hazel.
It'll be the
We're gonna-
Hydra.
Funny.
We're gonna create our own pantheon.
There you go.
Uh,
Yeah. I'm all for it. But yeah, so basically, but that for sure, in the sense of what you guys broke down, I agree. Temple would be the one thing you guys have to manifest yourselves. The other 3 would benefit you guys compartmentally, but the establishment would give you the greatest baseline. And since it already kind of is built like one, it'd be no modifications to the building itself. Just furnishing and tidying.
Yeah,
Kinda
I'm
feel
cool with
like-
the establishment.
I feel like the establishment is like the nice first step, but I don't know. It could be fun to start with a keep too.
So the keep is interesting also because from what I've gathered, the area outside of Clasped is rather wild and untamed.
Correct. Mhm.
And
So you'd have an
it
influence.
sounds like there's some room for us to establish order outside of the town and bring peace to the region, kind of deal.
Yeah, establish a reputation and then build the establishment to. I don't know. I'm just playing around.
Yeah, so
Whatever
I'm
seems more
kind of
daring.
I'm kind of between those two. Like the establishment can fund our endeavors of future outside the city.
Remember, you guys also have a fair amount of gold. You could get one free and pay for one out of pocket to get going, because you also haven't sold the Fisher yet. And between the 3 of you guys, you got somewhere around just under 7-ish, 800 gold already.
We're
Just saying.
still in debt, right?
How much would it
Well,
cost to
you know,
establish?
That's if you guys go and pay them. No one said they're over here knocking on your door every time you pull a gold coin out. They just said that you can't make money here. They didn't say you can't fix it or you can't build it. They just said you can't benefit from the business. It could be a business. It just has to go to paying the debt.
Okay.
So at no point could you not put money into it. It's just if it starts revenue, a part of that absolutely has to go to the debt.
When we
Or you
hire,
can go your way through.
when we get people or hire people with the keep, do they earn money for us as well, or is that just the establishment type thing?
So it depends on the people. There is a huge list of possibilities. If it's a farmer and things, that goes to your establishment. If it's like a scribe, it goes to the establishment unless they are swindlers. If it's a retainer, they can actually do offsite jobs. Depending on who you attract, which is based off the dice gods, depends on the benefits you guys get. But between the 3 of you, I'm sure there'll be plenty enough already flowing in just off the rolls that'll come in from just the 3 of you. I mean, the system's built for 6, so I have every confidence it'll work out. Also, all the openings you guys see right now with the white lines, those could be your doors. I didn't know where you wanted a front door, so I'm not gonna, I figured I'd let you guys this, no rush, no decision. Those are all windows or passage throughs. You can pass through them. There's no wall there. I just made it a little white line barrier so I understood my own thing, and for you guys to know that any could be modular. So if you remember the previous map, you guys had a sewer kind of pipe that was like running through there. They used your guys' facility as kind of like a. They needed city permission to build the unnecessary segment to run sewer systems, and well, Pete Thief said screw the property, so the property kind of forced this place to be it. Well, now that you're there, they were nice enough to close it off. So pay your bills and it should never open, and maybe down the line you can remove it or benefit from it. I mean, it is a sewer line.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
But
what do
it's
you
been
guys think?
sealed.
Keep or establishment?
I'm feeling more establishment, and then it sounded like maybe we can put some. So we get establishment for free.
The first
And
one's free,
then-
no matter what.
And then it sounds like we can put some funds towards producing a second one also. So we could potentially do both. Where we set up an establishment to make money and pay off our debt, and then we create the keep where we can start kind of pumping. I don't want to say influence per se, but
Okay. Yeah, I'm on board.
presence, control.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's do the establishment then.
Hazel, you're on board.
Yeah, establishment. Yeah.
You got.
Yeah.
You hear a rasp on the door. Knock, knock, knock. Hello! Hello! Is anyone inside? I could have sworn one of the miscreants out here said that they saw a very large man, a very small man, a bear, and an elf, I think. Real odd Brady Bunch type, but if you're in there, I have a great proposition for you.
Hello, we're here. Come on in.
I'm looking at this grand structure on the outside and just don't know where the entry might be. There's a lot of, right, there's a hole here. And he just kind of pops in from a hole, and you guys see a small stout individual just kind of coming in. He's like, oh, hello. He's very humanoid in nature, very
Wait,
calm.
where is this oriented through the city? Where is the city at?
Yeah, let me pull up that map for you guys.
You want to just pick where a door is, really quick?
I guess. Yeah.
But it's north of you. You guys are in the pocket here. So technically anything north of you would make the most sense.
Okay. I'm thinking more like away from the sewer entrance thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Can we change up the map where it's like where it was more on the right side of it instead of the center up?
It actually had 2 spots if you didn't notice it before.
Oh, okay.
So I removed one of them. But yeah, I actually had 2 in there. And I was like, that took up a lot of space. But I can put, I'll mess with it. We could absolutely mess with it. That's not a problem. Totally customizable. So
Cool.
you guys are here at this immediate time. And an individual has just entered in a very basic of humanoids, of any kind of typical humanoids. And we'll just toss this guy here. Nope, that's not supposed to be a weird blue ball. Okay. Oh, that's right. I haven't updated the images. Whatever. We'll just put, boom, this dude. Bam. All right. So you see him, and he's like, yeah. He looks at each of you guys in a size-up manner. It would seem as if there's a misdescription in my transcript here. There are, and he doesn't have any glasses, but he looks like he should have them. Is the bear considered a human in any way whatsoever? Can they speak the common tongue, I guess, would be a valid acceptance.
I look over at Hazel. Expectantly.
No, the bear is not speaking common.
So
We
it
can
does not know how
translate
to
to it.
communicate.
I can communicate with her.
And so can I.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that only this one individual, but the rest of the city could potentially communicate with your animal?
Possibly. There are
Righto.
contingencies.
With that, I will go ahead and mark down that we have 4 living human species. Wonderful. I wasn't sure if it was just 3. Would have been cheaper on the taxes, but the crown never cares. Right. Okay, wonderful. I got that down. I'm sure.
Like a human to you.
I apologize, sir. The census does not have a special delegation for indoor pets, cats, dogs, or other bestial natures. So I must ask if they can understand the human tongue. And if they can, then I must assume that they can afford, work, or pay for their own right to live upon property. Every mouth is a mouth to feed, of course. This new census program has been a huge gas for the city. We have been able to realize that we have been charging way too little for what it is that in which we have allowed you all to live. Occupy.
I look up at Wrath, like super annoyed.
Just pat Ellie on the butt and see if are you a human? Do you consider yourself a human? And see what she does. Kind of like push her towards the
She
this tax
absolutely
collector.
continues her typical behavior and responds in a communal manner to Hazel. Hazel, do you respond as they're like, Why do I feel like you're all talking about me?
Um, it's hard. Yeah, Ellie, we are talking about you.
The inspector goes, you see, that's clearly enough to verify that if the bear knows that we are directly confronting it, then four
I mean, it's not
occupants.
hard because we're staring almost at her.
Yes,
gonna
yes,
tell
but
Ashley,
so many animals just throw up a tail like a skunk, or they run off, or they just ignore you. But we spoke to it, asked it a question, and it responded. You even spoke to it by name. Miss Alice, we were even wondering what it was called. I'll add that to the census. Now we know the occupant's wrath. We don't wrath. We'll just leave it at wrath. He doesn't look old
But
enough.
telepathically
Okay.
reach out to Charles and tell him to slowly walk up to this person and start doing the angry cat routine with the arched back, the puffy tail, and like the hair all sticking up and like the
You see the Jermaine just throw its nose up, and it's like it just it's like a little rat with like a little hunched up elastic back, kind of like real upward in a weird, awkward boomerang arch manner. It kind of looks like it should be part of the Sonic logo, and it's like, and it's kind of making this weird little high screech noise that it's just you see the individuals go, "Oh my goodness, you have rats here! An exterminator is needed right away." Termination. That'll cost a pretty penny. Please,
Yeah,
it just stands there and it's like, these
Charles,
infested with a disease.
Charles the cat, not William the
Oh,
dog.
yeah, no, but he sees the rats now. Is my
Oh,
point is
shit.
that he sees that and now he looks around. He didn't he came in looking at you guys and now he sees them and then he looks around thinking that the cat's not hissing at him. It's hissing at the occupancy.
I'm just gonna quickly starting to get annoyed. I'm gonna take the book away from him
Duh!
and
Okay.
just.
No. The large
What are you
fellows,
here for exactly?
No, I mean, the census, you all said I can come in. No one asked me before entering, so I just continued on. I thought my directions say that if I go around town, I knock on the door, they say, come in. I come in and I take information for the census so that the census could be filled with information of thy neighbors and we all know where we live together. I'm simply just a private, non-private city employee. I'm not quite sure where they came to be with the agreement with the city of class and the census organization, but I'm strictly a door-to-door employee.
Is this the same census? Sorry, DM. Is this the same census?
You
okay.
imagine that it's evolved. It's only
that's
growing.
why-
This is
that's why
a
annoyingly.
yeah.
I don't have my notes on me.
No
Forgot
worries.
what that
This is like a
guy's name
teamster,
was.
if anything.
So then I'll just tell him, who's your boss?
Well, you see, there wasn't quite a meeting. It was more like we'll give you some sovereigns, and I just kind of show up to get paid. And a man looking for a bit of hunger in his belly. I'm not going to say no to some good silver and maybe copper if I don't perform as well. But you guys are giving me plenty of information. Yes, yes. He doesn't have his paper, but he would if he did, if it wasn't in your hands. And he's like, but truly, you'd understand that I'm just a man doing my job. I have children.
Yes. How many children are you willing to lose? I mean, how many children do you have?
I don't want to lose any.
Oh, not lose. I'm sorry. I misspoke.
Both of you guys.
And I
give me
give him a
insight
nice smile.
checks. Insight checks for the two of you, Hazel and Wrath.
Oh, come on. Is that 18? That must be an 18.
Wow.
Starting off with the best rolls today.
Hazel's always on top of it, but this is still low for performancing. But a 7, Wrath. You, sir, scratch your head in confusion. Hazel, you have like on the tip of your mind, on the tip of your tongue, an inkling of just understanding what this confusing census taker individual is trying to convey to the two of you. As Pills kind of bubbles back into the conversation, and realizes that the man just keeps going. Right. Please, I don't even need the information from the notebook because you are such a memorable folk. I can simply just fill it out in the spare I have.
Is he inside or outside?
Yeah, yeah, he popped inside. And he came in through the little crack. He was inside the building. You guys let him in. The whole shebang.
Well,
You see, we know your boss.
Right, I couldn't say I know him. There's about a handful of us. I'd say,
Well, what's your name? So I can report you to your boss.
sir, yeah. Can you at least explain to me what it is you're reporting me for? That will validate whether or not more information is necessary to be provided.
Unwelcomed taking of information.
I was allowed in.
For our privacy.
I was
You were
brought into
allowed
a
in, but that
dangerous
does not mean you
environment
could take information.
infested with rodent kind, whether or not they can walk on two hind legs or not.
Rodent?
Definitely,
What kind of thing are we? Not rodent.
It's definitely biased. I
didn't realize
matter
how
of fact-
discriminatory this place was. Wow, we really need to speak to your supervisor about
We do
how
know
racist
his
you are.
supervisor. It's the
you do
census man.
realize that he kind of leans into you guys in a confident state now that he realizes how absent-minded you are of the scenario here. He's like, that's the upper ends of class do not allow their species onto the property, not even as servants.
Are we in the upper ends of class?
That just tells me how little you know. Very well, I will just allow you to take my badge number, 726. And I'll leave it at that. You keep the notebook. If you can even read them, enjoy my writing and literature. I'll report this place as a very occupied home and to have maximum taxes taken out of it upon the census's regulations. Good day. And he goes and he's like, which hole was it that I went through again?
Which
And he
hole
just
should
goes
we
to the
pop him
biggest
into?
one.
I say, Pills, should we pop him into the sewer or what?
Oh, can we pop him into the sewer?
We can most definitely pop him in the sewer.
You guys
He's
attempt to.
already mad at us, so
Dead people can't be mad.
oh.
Went from hazing to death. Woof. Real quick.
I don't know if pills is to the point of killing.
I mean, we've done it already before.
kind of thing.
Not for just being a rodent.
Okay, fine.
As you guys discuss this, he's gone. You hear off in the
We'll find
off
him.
just beyond the other the little 2x4s. I can't believe they considered this. This place is just never going to pass. And he just walks off. You guys imagine that he's maybe like a city official of some sort of demeanor, but small fries compared to what you could be worried with. You look at the notes, Wrath. Gibberish. Bunch of gibberish. It's in your hands, so who cares?
I'm gonna ask Charles to follow him, but airborne, discreetly. The intention is to find out where he lives.
So now we're gonna kill his children too. I like how you think, Pills.
I didn't say we're gonna kill him.
Goes for the whole
Okay.
family.
I'm sorry. Put them in the sewer. That's what that thing's for, right, DM? I know why there's a sewer.
Sweeney Todd action.
Yeah, when you started talking about families, I was like, yeah, I know where this is going.
Who knows? Who knows? He has a family. I just, maybe we go scare him out of town.
Yeah, we'll see.
Just teach him a lesson. Who runs this town?
Pills.
We do.
Literally. So, Charles will follow them. What else do you guys do?
I think we probably want to go check out the wizard thing. The apprentice.
The one that was there struggling.
Yeah.
You got it.
You remember that?
Yeah, you don't remember.
But I feel like the easier one would be the mud thing. Mudslide.
Oh, but you guys wanted to capitalize on the farm, right?
Oh yeah. But I guess if we're trying to earn followers, that'd be the easiest way.
Well, so there's also the artifacts those are outside of town.
Yes. I think the apprentice is the more immediate thing before he turns into whatever.
That's fair.
Whatever curse gets him.
Do we have a way of dealing with whatever curse it is?
To be fair, you guys left once he said he was cursed. You
Yeah.
guys were like, "Hey, I'm cursed. Bye." You know, it was a really rough interaction of, "Hey, how can we help you?"
Wrath and Pills were unable to comprehend the situation because of our headache.
Yeah, true. Very fair point. But there's really little you guys know, but you know someone up there. The city doesn't like it, but no one's helped him.
And then I think were we gonna do a ritual or something like that where you got a pearl and you were gonna identify the glove and the stone
Oh yeah,
that we picked up?
yeah. So
The Michael Jackson glove.
I can spend some time doing that now if you want.
Yeah. So then the items you discover is the let me make sure it's the same items because I have some on my end that I forgot to unidentify. So yours, let me just click on one, click them from your inventory and identify that so I know. Pills. You discover that the two gloves in which Wrath is carrying, one is the gloves of swimming and climbing, and the other is the gloves of missile sniff.
Ooh.
You should have observership over his character sheet if you wanted to like narrate it to him in your own way. But otherwise, they are still on this person because they are his items unless you take them from him. But is there anything else you were identifying other than the two gloves?
Did we want to look at the balls, or do we just think those are heavy balls?
Yeah, let's identify the balls.
These are lead balls. No.
You look at the spherical
breath.
objects before you, and as you weigh them, you realize the weight maybe is influenced by the item itself. As you teeter and totter between the two, you do come to understand that one of them, two of them not, but one of them is in fact a temporary single-use ball of scrying.
What?
Sorry, a what?
Ball of scrying. So basically like a
Right.
spyglass, first sense of wherever you can identify, describe, or imagine in existence.
Helmetier, or whatever you call it.
That's the big round circle cannonball thing that
One of them. The other two are just ammunitional purposes and or other, just legit items of volatile
It's a
nature.
shot
That,
put.
yeah, shot put basically. Yeah.
interesting. Do I have to attune to these or can I equip them?
I don't think they say you have to do.
There's a attunement button, so it's just attunement
Oh.
required, I guess, on the side of it.
Oh, yeah, if it says that, then yes, you have to. But if you do, you can do so in your short rest, but you can only have 3 attuned items at any time.
Okay. I will try to attune to it next time during the short rest then.
I mean, you can do it now if you want to. You guys are at HQ right now, so you don't have to not do it if you don't want to right now.
You said
Oh,
I
it's
can
only-
attune to just a max of 1 per
Yeah,
short
because
rest?
it's gloves, because you can't have 2 pairs of gloves over each other.
Oh,
Which one did you want?
let's do missile snaring.
Go and just check it, and you should be able to recollect
And
it in
equip
time.
it. All right.
Anything else you guys were doing, Pills, Wrath, and Hazel, before taking off to the mage?
So what do we want to do with the other gloves, the gloves of swimming and climbing? Do we just want to sell those?
I think they could come in handy if we ever try to scale something. So I'd like to hold on
Okay.
to them if
Just
possible.
hold on those. Okay.
This is pretty good. +5. I don't know what that means. It's just improves like a quarter of my chance to scale a building or swim.
Maybe we give them to somebody who's not.
It's a
so
plus
good.
5 to your save, basically. So like I mean, it's pretty
That's
useful in the sense of a
Actually,
save.
I was
pretty
fine.
good at getting to the top of things.
Guys, sorry, I don't.
No worries. Don't worry about it.
I was building a thing on the side.
It's all good. Yeah, if you guys want it, it's fine with me.
Pills can use Misty Step, so I don't know that I'm super invested in getting those gloves for Pills. You have
Yeah,
your
this is
plus gloves.
I have my magical gloves here.
okay. So we'll just hold on to them for now, and then decide to sell it later, maybe.
Sure.
I'll keep them in my backpack. All right. In terms of breaking, so maybe Hazel, if you can describe to us, what did you see at the Apprentice Hill?
Something.
Do you know? You said it was a curse, I think. Do you know what kind of curse it was, or does anybody have anything to break curses?
Does Hazel know what curse it was?
No. You can
Yeah.
consider whether you could break curses, but you don't know what. You have no idea what kind of curse that was. It was a magician. He sounded young. He did not seem like he seemed like an apprentice. To your understanding, they were an apprentice from the information you picked up. They were desperately asking for help. Oddly enough, nobody fucking cared.
Okay.
I don't
Let's go back
think
to the
do it.
Apprentice. Maybe the
We can
Apprentice has like a dispel scroll in his place and something to help him out with. Or we could stop by the market.
And you were saying pills?
Oh yeah, Pills was. I don't think I have anything to help him, but we can certainly look.
All right. So you
Yeah,
guys
let's
want
go to try.
So there's two ways you guys can get there. You can go the long way, which is all the way back through the market square, or you can try the Expedia Passage, but that is through a hood you have yet to be to. But with your recent discovery of the map, you know for sure there's a bridge there.
Let's do
It's
it.
through
Let's
this
take the short
neighborhood.
way. I'm all for discovering more of the map.
All right.
Do we start moving ourselves, or
I mean, you guys can absolutely do so.
okay? Fast travel. Phew.
So as you guys dash on over into the neighborhood, you see that there's a beautiful little well next to the tiniest little of cottages in the center of this little square. And on the cottage, it says, Wares, as in Wheres. Like wares. Where?
That's funny.
Nobody is inside it. It's an empty building, very abandoned at this time. The little well next to it looks like it gets plenty of use. There's at least 4 to 5 destroyed ropes or other kind of hooked appendages that were used at one point or another to dolly the system. The neighborhood seems awfully quiet at this time. It's probably about later in the day. Supper time is probably amongst us if anyone had families, though you would say that this entire district didn't seem to have much in the sense of children. You saw a lot of children on the outskirts of the walls of this particular interlocking area, but inside, it's always been kind of privy snot-like individuals of adulthood. Each of you guys give me your choice, insight or perception.
Oh, I'm shit at both of those. So
Insight.
You know, I've learned it's impossible to make a D&D character that can be great at either. You just got to suck it up and choose to suck at one of them for sure.
unless you're like a bard.
Yes.
I mean, Jack of all trades is great, but it still doesn't cover really bad rolls. I mean,
Yeah, look at me.
we got Wrath,
I've got a +5 and I rolled a nat 1.
Wrath is like head in the well, like, oh, let me just check this out while you guys are taking in your surroundings. Hazel, you notice it's quiet. I'll allow Miss Ellie to go ahead and throw in a roll. Just add her to the map group.
The pity rolls.
Go and give me a perception check at advantage because she has keen senses. And Pills, it's odd that it's quiet. It's very odd. Miss Al is just like, where's
I guess
everyone? Is what she
I'm gonna
says.
start just looking around, like kind of feeling uneasy. Then, like, what? Why is no one here?
You say that aloud, and you guys hear from inside the building, the abandoned structure. Hey, someone out there? I haven't had a customer in a long time. You don't see anyone though.
I think you were speaking so high your mic didn't get
Yeah.
you.
So he basically it's a coughing, squeaky individual. I'll change
Okay.
it.
I got it.
And yeah, you know, they're excited that there's a customer, and it's been a while, but you don't see who they are. Oh, hey, I'm well, we're real small, tiny in here, and haven't had many customers, so no time to grow. If you get me,
I
you
guess I'm gonna
definitely
try and
don't get them.
follow the sound of the voice to try and find the person.
You walk up and without walking into the building through either the door or a window with no glass, there's no way of not invading this home prior to letting yourself in, because you cannot see this individual whatsoever. But it's definitely coming from inside.
I don't see you. I'm gonna come in and try and
Oh,
I'm
that's
interested
quite
in-
all right. Maybe you'll see something you like on the way in.
Yes, that sounds great. I will come in and listen to their voice while also perusing their wares.
As you walk inside, every shelf is full cobweb. There's no items. It's dusty. It's as if this place has been sitting in a post-apocalyptic setting and a volcano poured ash on it and no one's came by since. But outside, from the inside, Pills, since you're the only one. Wait, is Pills the only one inside the building at this time?
No, I guess Hazel and Miss Ellie follow pills.
Okay,
out.
Same
Hazel and this. Okay, you guys all go inside. You guys all look around and you realize that inside it's old, decrepit, rustic in nature, but on the outside it's bustling. There's a full crowd, an audience. There's people shopping. There's literally people buying things from the store in front of you. But on the inside, it's just a mirage. At least it feels that way because there's no one working. No one's selling them anything, but they're coming up, doing an exchange, putting money. It looks real, and then when they hand it over and move their hand out, it falls to the floor. You see on the floor there's at least 200 gold pieces slowly
Pills
accumulating.
slowly backs out of the building.
As you back out of the building, Pills, it's dead quiet. It's like you're going through the bad area of the Bronx on a motorcycle, and you know that when you're kicked in, everyone poked their head out because they're like fresh meat. But you step out and it's quiet, so pristine that you don't even want to sneeze or breathe too loud. You see your companions inside in a rundown structure.
Let's see here.
Do you mind coming out and talking to us?
Oh no! My entire enterprise depends on my presence. But if you come in and just drop a copper, I'll become big enough for you to see, I promise.
Do I hear this too?
Oh yeah, everyone inside the building can hear this guy. You just can't see anything.
Do we think
Stay outside.
Pills
It's like
outside?
Pills
Pills
outside.
outside.
Even then, but you still hear the same because you heard it from the outside. You hear it from the
Right,
inside. That doesn't
right.
change anything. What's interesting is that this looks like a coffee shop from Pills' point of view. Wrath inside is too big for the entire structure. This is like a tiny little stand booth that's just a building. It's not a facade. It's a full little building, but why is it here next to this well? No clue. Why is it dead out here? No clue. But Pills, you're the only one who understands that there's lively activity outside. The rest of you guys do see the pile of gold. You do not see it accumulating them.
Hmm.
Can I mean,
Yep. Okay, so I'll just drop a copper.
As you drop it,
Wow.
you see it just It glistens, turns into gold, ding, hits the ground, ding, ding, rolls all the way up a little incline, which doesn't make sense, through an unnecessary piece of paper that should have stopped it, and it falls ding, 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 into the pile of gold that resides there just on the other side of where people have been imaginarily so dropping their money. You just hear this scream as you imagine that the noise is them emerging, and really you still see nothing. They're just like, oh man, that's a weighty one, but it's okay. I got it to gold nonetheless. Well, you see, the problem is that I don't. I'll tell the truth. Okay, I give up. I bought everyone out, and I don't know where to spend the money because nobody's left to give it to. Nobody lives here. I lived the dream over and over, looking at the images where I once used to steal and trifle off of everyone's penny, all the way to their gold, till I owned every building on this property lot. And now it's vacant. I've shriveled up and grown so tiny and small because my ambitions are not. And that's why you can't see me. I thought I just needed one more customer. You hear it just fade off in despair, saddened.
How can I lift your spirits?
Oi!
I'm right there.
You got anyone looking for property? Somewhere to live? Maybe pay just a little tissel in rent. I'll be very generous in the pricing. Without them, my little booth means nothing.
Yeah, I'd be interested in living somewhere. How much would you be charging?
In these properties, I think they go for somewhere around 300 gold a month.
300 gold a month? How about 50 gold a month?
Why, Charlie, you scareless. I'd maybe give you a bathroom for 50 gold a day. Just
But how
to paint
about
your stuff in
this?
something so pristine. These are great homes. It's just the people here just couldn't get over my amazing items. And so they just kept spending it on me. I never knew that. He just kind of muffles himself as if to stop himself from going wild with information.
So if you let me and our party stay for cheap in this area, and we could talk about price afterwards, but we've started an establishment in this area, and once we get more people and they're going to need more places to stay, we can have them kind of move in here and kind of create a deal if you'd like.
Y'all can't see me, but the little one had an idea. I heard you, but go ahead, Bills.
Right.
Man, he trailed off. He said something, and then I asked him what he meant, but I lost it.
Got it. Sometimes when you got something, you don't got something no more, and it means you lost it. I don't got no customers, so I lost them. But I got all their wares, all their monies, all their properties, and every other little thing that you think that there was theirs is mine. But you see,
What properties in this area do you own?
well, you're staring at it all. That's why it's so quiet. I can't possibly live in each one and buy for myself. I bought everyone out of their homes.
How far out does your ownership extend? Do you own this little keep castle thing over here?
No, not the church. No, but I own the park that's there on the corner. And he doesn't point, but you understand that he means the only grass in this entire little entire upper class area. No, that's just the magistrates and their real ass of a faction. They told everyone to move out and quit spending their monies with me. I really didn't appreciate the anti-propaganda, so I went to get some assistance. Well, it worked too well. Bought them right out of their own lives, some of them.
I agree with my friend here. I think we could probably come to some kind of agreement with
A temporary living arrangement for some free propaganda. You tell people it's great here, even if you're struggling, and I just give you a reduction on rent. I think that's a fair deal. No one has to know the truth as long as you're smiling on the outside.
I think you're also missing a great opportunity. Owning all of this land right next to this bridge.
Owning all the land next to what bridge? I own all this land that you're standing on.
There's a bridge right here that crosses this chasm to the other side of the town.
Yes, to the unfair bargain haggle mart. They never want to spend more than a silver with me. They're ridiculous folk. They clearly don't have enough deep pockets for my flavor of taste.
We control the bridge. We control the flow of traffic.
Like a toll.
A toll.
You know, like in the ocean, there's an atoll. Sometimes it requires you to either lose your boat or make it through in
Not
pieces.
an atoll. A toll.
A troll! I can
Huh?
afford a troll. That could be useful.
I
We put the troll under the bridge.
Oh no, under the bridge, there's undead things. Those things will definitely make the troll theirs. They're very convincing beasts. In fact, when I used to do business there, they made me believe that their currency was valuable here. That's why I built this establishment. Turns out it was fool's gold. Never again will I fall for it. Only the real thing. I weigh everything I get, you see. That's how I knew when he gave me the copper. I was able to properly transfuse it to the gold I needed. Fey magic. A wondrous thing.
Sorry,
Magic, say.
you can turn copper into gold? Is that what
No,
I heard?
absolutely not. I was just saying that when you gave me the copper, I definitely converted it to a gold value. But it has nothing to do with what I can produce. It's just what happens.
So if I put more copper, will there be more gold?
You'll be paying me what you think in copper, but I'll definitely be banking.
Okay.
That's full disclosure
Pills
on
know
a non-compete.
about the Fae.
Fae is like the fadey ideas that you thought of that you don't remember when you leave tomorrow.
Does pills like understand anything about Fae?
Give me a history check. Let's see if you remember any kind of fey magic happening to you in your castings.
Shit.
You imagine that those times when you go to the bar and they say if you wake up forgetful, it's because you were visited by a small thing, or a whisper in the ear, or a scratch in the nostril. One of like those like odd things that wake you up when you don't remember falling asleep. It means you were visited by a fae. So you think maybe, but you're awake and you know you're not asleep because you're with two others. So how fey is this fey? Questionable. But the city is absent. Everything's adding up. The story, not 100% clear, but sensuable in some kind of timeline, yes.
So is
But
that
there's-
no to the toll on the bridge idea?
How does it work? Do I gotta do something? Because I'm very hard to see. And it'd be really hard to enforce things if nobody sees me. The fact that you three stopped, gave me money, and are still talking to me is more than I've accomplished in quite a few minutes of time.
So we can probably supply a body
Like
to
a breathing corpse. Or a body that I gotta hire somebody to remove when it smells.
a warm body.
Like from a toaster oven. Like it's ready to
that's
be
still
eaten.
alive. A living being. We can provide a
Oh.
living being
So they could like
to
communicate with us.
to take the toll from the bridge.
To take a toll
So
across
if you
the
want to cross
bridge.
the bridge, you have to pay a fee.
We can't pay because you're all supposed to continue to pay me. So what do we expect to get a pay from?
The people that want to cross the bridge.
Right. I've had 0 customers cross me in a very long time. But you're more than welcome to offer me a price to cross this bridge. I'll be more than happy to charge the 3 of you. To set an example, of course.
Silly, what are you doing?
I think you're missing the point.
Give me a persuasion at advantage. As you sold it fair. They just don't know what a toll is. Okay.
Look, I really can't say that I grasp all of it. But if you're saying you can bring me business and you can fill these homes with affording individuals that will keep bringing me the financial desires that I enjoy, I'm okay with it.
I believe we could, but we'll need something from you. And
Oh
that will
boy,
be a portion of the toll, a portion of the bridge crossing fee, and your shop could do with a bit of sprucing up, if I'm honest.
well, I see how people spending at wares all the time. My wares are everywhere. If you didn't know it, well, you clearly haven't bought something. What do you
To be
mean it looks
fair,
like a disaster?
Your shop
Oh
is covered
boy.
in cobwebs.
Wow.
Oh, hold on, I got hijacked. One sec. Wait. Never mind. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry. Sometimes the significance is AirPods hijack things. So she was giving me the signal of hijack. Anyway, sorry. They go on.
So she just heard like a high-pitched gnome screaming
Yeah,
in her ear.
that she like it happens every night. She just like picks up a random thing and gets, and it only happens when she hangs out in the room. So like she'll just be like, look at the headset, and I don't notice because I'm usually talking at the time. You guys hear it?
Let's call it a deal, but it's not dusty. It's very well arranged. If you sold the cobwebs, that's what I was offering you. Everyone else doesn't have a problem with what I gave them. They like dust. They like needs to clean. They like purpose. You must just want the cobwebs. So take them.
Will you take them for free?
You already paid me. But you
I
could
just
pay
start
me
taking the
more.
cobwebs.
You start taking the cobwebs. Hazel, Pills, you don't see this. You see Wrath just attacking the shelves and just dust appearing everywhere. Pills. For you, Wrath and Hazel, no dust debris flies around. You see him just remove pristine items, untouched, undirty. It's as if it was a perfectly 3D depth cloth when you remove it.
Oh wow.
It's just a cloth. It's exactly all it is in your hands, Wrath. As all of a sudden, as Wrath tears apart the brief area in front of him swiftly, Hazel, you see products on products on products, from health potions to assumed magical items to ammunitions to weaponry. I mean, it's a whole just menagerie of items. Some of them you couldn't even tell us what they were because neither of you have seen them. Ever. You just see shit and you're just like, what is this for?
Come in and look at that.
Look
No!
what?
He's not allowed in. He said it was messy. He does not get to know where wares belong.
Pills, if you try to get inside, you are barred from it. No matter what you do, there is an imaginary force field, non-lethal, that just is there.
I'm
But
not
your
convinced.
allies are like mind blown. Yeah, you're confused, but Hazel and Wrath are like now looking at the shelves like there's shit there, and you're like, there's just cobwebs. But they're like going. Every motion they make makes no sense to Pills on the outside, but they could be going through a clothing rack, and it would just look like they're doing like weird imaginary motions to
So
Pills.
is there something specific who caught our eye from this?
What would you guys both be particularly looking for at this time?
I would be looking for something like a scroll or something that could help break curses.
Right, yeah.
Oh, big boy. Yes, you must like to read a lot. I definitely have a literature that you could see It's about these things that happen to things with less than the brain cells I think you might have on you. It might save you if you're foolish enough to meet people like me that are less kind.
He provides you a little
Sounds
scroll, and you just agree. You take it, and it is a scroll of curses.
Roll of curses. Oh, great.
I mean, you wanted to know about curses. Boom. Now you
Yeah,
got
yeah.
scrolls with curses.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hazel,
I don't
outside
think
of that, what would you be looking for, Hazel, in a personal sense?
Actually, I've kind of something like that. But
What? Then you must want a bit more risky. I heard in my mind that one of you like to take lots of risks, so I figured it'd be you.
And he grabs a arrow and he hands it to you.
This here is a very valuable demon slaying arrow. One shot of this should take any hierarchy down. I hear a proper placed moment of this will make them kneel.
It is a demon slaying arrow. The amount of damage it could do on a demon of the second highest hierarchy of their statues. Like, I guess if we had, you don't know this, but for understanding at an outer player instance, there's 5 tiers, and you have a tier 4 demon slaying arrow. If you hit the demon with it, they will die. If you hit
Wow.
any
Okay.
demon below a T4, which you guys don't know that, you will never know that until it happens. But if you hit anything below the second to highest, it's an insta kill. You are advised not to just shoot it for fun, but by all means, you can do it anytime you want.
I'll show you this is what you're gonna need when you see what you see that you don't want to meet.
okay.
Thank you.
Oh no, you definitely made my place a bit spruced.
It's a
At
very
least
nice,
I can
nice
offer.
place. Nice shop.
I had your food. I just had to know you were good people. Everyone wants to steal. Like that's one little one out there. He definitely looks like he thinks he knows a good value. Wouldn't want him to know what I have.
Oh, he's here.
Ah, he's outside. He only hears what I want him to hear. He doesn't know what you got unless you showed him.
Ah. Do
He
we see
thinks
this?
it still looks like a rundown place. And
Do
of
we
course
s-
you can't see me. Then I'd be
Okay.
vulnerable. Equally all along, I just make people pay me because they want to see what they can't see and they like to pay for things they think they don't believe.
Okay. Did he ever introduce himself? I'm sorry, I didn't
No,
catch
he is a very invasive individual.
it. Well, sir, what should I call you? My name is Wrath.
My name is on the building.
Where's?
It's Where's? Like,
Nice.
where do you think these wares come from? Me? Wares? Where I
Yep.
get them, I'll never say. But the point being is that from me, wares. Where
Oh,
I go,
you have a
where
nice.
I've been, where I've seen in visual aspects from time to time.
You have a very nice name. Do you know anything about? And I look at towards Hazel to kind of help describe the curse that she saw. Hazel, do you want to describe the curse that we saw and see if he knows anything about it?
Yeah, I try to describe the curse because I don't know what it was.
Give me a history at advantage as you go to recall as many details as possible.
Where on earth do you think I understand these things? My name is Where. Doesn't mean I know where everything is. Or why everything happens where it does. But yes, I heard there's an apprentice fiddling in some unnecessary black magic. And he made it. What was it called again? A del. A dally something. I really wish I could tell you more, but I didn't want to touch him. He came in and he didn't have any monies to spare, so I said you best take it elsewhere. And not at my ware establishments. Another ware that doesn't involve my businesses.
Is this still outside of Pills? Pills doesn't hear this.
You can hear that. You just didn't hear anything he gave them. He just did not allow you to know the items he provided for their services.
Okay. I don't
He
think
thinks they
Corey
helped
heard
you.
that.
Yeah, you didn't hear. Yeah, you were gone at that time, so it worked out.
But where are you going anyways? You came here. Now where are you off to? I ask all my customers.
We're gonna go see the apprentice.
Oh, I can't imagine where that'll take you.
Ha! See what you did there.
You got some spunk.
Well, we're probably gonna go off to see if we can help him now. Is there anything else we want us to do, maybe, for you?
Oh yeah, well obviously tell them I've got occupancies and vacancies and places that need to be
Alright.
filled. But they gotta be able to afford $350 a month.
Okay. Well,
And other expenses.
Flyers or
I sell
brochures?
everything. I'm the grocery. I'm the say that again.
Do you have any flyers or brochures we can put out?
You said you'd bring them. I thought you had that all.
Okay, we'll produce something.
Right, but make sure you put wares.
Obviously.
You'd be surprised. People say, "Where is it?" And they didn't see that it was wares.
Where's?
That's for you to put in the flyer.
we definitely will. And so I start walking out of the building. Thank you, Wares.
Right.
Pills is just like head in hands, like
That was the Wrath is like, that was the smartest conversation I've ever had in my life so far.
You guys venture off and you arrive at this bridge. As you guys get there, you realize something is off about it. One, nobody is manning it. Not the most unusual thing. Two, it is absolutely not in its best shape. Three, without a roll, each of you look at Allie and know that Miss Allie will knock this bitch down the moment they try to cross.
That's too funny. Okay.
Miss Allie's just like, they try to take the lead. They're just like, I'll go first.
we're not gonna get a lot of toll revenue out of this bridge if it's in such a state.
No, I think we're gonna have to fix it.
Everyone give me an insight check.
Yes.
Natural 19.
Not 20. Yeah. Wrath, Hazel, you guys hear this like this little fluttering of sorts. Beyond a hummingbird, bigger than a bee, but subtle, not annoyance, not a flattering of sorts, just like a, what is that? Pills, your gut sinks. You have seen or met or have encountered one of these annoyances before. It is not the noise that's annoying, it's what they offer you. They are called auditors. They are basically fey individuals that can quote you how much it would cost to repair a city project. And they outsource any and all resources, making it astronomically high. However, normal folk don't like and have the time that Fae do because Fae operate at 12,000 thoughts a minute compared to the average 3. So they are very good auditors for the city and awfully hired. You imagine with your current passings, it only made sense that this would come next with your natural 20 before you interact with them and before they arrive to give you guys a bill and price tag. I am allowing you to warn your allies of what not to fall into. Never agree with them. Never make a trade, even if it's verbal, and do not say you can, or else you will have to. In your own words.
Whatever. We're not making any deal, and you're not saying any names.
You mean our names?
No names. No names, no deals.
Okay.
Raph,
Whatever happens.
do you agree to this? You're muted, but
I just
get
do
the-
a zipped face.
You,
I
got
just
it.
go.
You guys here.
We should probably just go around the long way.
You have a
Okay.
chance to leave at a D100 before you're caught. You have to get
Who's
higher.
rolling that?
Oh, we already had one. Boom, you failed. Wrath. As you take a step, your massive size and vibrations. Maybe it was Miss Allie, but it looks like it was Wrath. A panel falls from this toll. And then you guys immediately hear, nope, that's not going to be okay. I need identification for each of you. You see a small little fairy there with a very small but pen in hand notebook, and they are taking notes. They are no more than 3 inches in size, but they are creating a ambiance of visual understanding as there's like a holographic alpha version of them that's boosted up 200% so that it's very clear where they are in presence. Aha! It looks as if there is a more damage done by loyalters. I believe you meant to pass, but you instead did damage to the city structure.
I have a question,
Phil's
DM.
Yes.
Did the whole plank break and did it fall?
No,
Or
just
is
the
it still
plank. Yeah,
there?
just a single plank broke
Is it
off.
still there?
No, it is falling.
Oh, okay.
Just one though.
Damn.
Pills, you were saying?
Phil's walks away.
Sir, I need an identification for you.
I'm
You.
following pills.
He buzzes in front of Hazel. You. And he's in front of Hazel and he's like, identification for the bear, please. At least one of you must be counted for.
The bear's name is Richard.
The little one speaks on behalf for Richard. If this is false information, I will find you. You best believe it. He takes it down, but he watches you guys go if you choose. He does not pursue. You guys walk back there and you hear,
Yeah, I'm fucking
Is that a customer? Come on in. I got all the wares for you.
I
Feels
try to walk in.
Can you will try to walk up and there's just like a
It's you again. First, you gotta tell me if it looks beautiful on the outside of Ware's Menagerie.
go ahead and give me a Arcana check to see whether or not you still believe it looks tarnished on the outside. It looks like a fucking shit show. In fact, it looks worse after Wrath and Hazel and Ellie left it, in your opinion.
I keep walking.
Me alone. No business for unappreciative individuals. Oh, hi, Al. Hi, Hazel. Hi, Ron.
It's just like greets them as they walk by and just disses Pills. Pills, you head north and you see a whole nother establishment.
Like, what did I do to this guy?
You walk completely north and you guys briefly get lost for a moment on where you guys are as Wrath. Roll me a D100 and see if you find your friends. Pills, Miss Hazel, and Miss L, you end up in a little section of really healthy wheat. You do find them, Ralph. And hay, as it's all bounded and bundled, and it looks like a private collection. And you hear, hey! You see a city guard walk up. This is under strict jurisdiction of the clasp guard. We are watching it for the nearby inn and tavern. May I ask what your intentions as unsupervised and authorized? Wheat and hay all bundled up. Like not
Okay.
together, but individually. There's 2 different resources present.
Did we not see any kind of signage or
Of course not.
barrier?
No. These fuckers, they just like to get people in trouble. They're just like, if someone walks in, we tax them. You're getting a theme here. There's more clause than there is warnings of things.
Sorry, did you need something from us?
Yes, I need to know whether or not you were
Like,
right. Very well, move along and make sure you don't wander off into the private corridors as you seemingly continue to have done. He doesn't know any
things are
better.
so- Maybe you should put up signage.
Do I look like someone who works for anyone else but myself? Why on
Yes,
earth would I not
you
want to
do.
gain a tithe off of your mistakes?
You look like you're a bot.
Yes, the armor was generated from the same manufacturing smith in town. How dare you insult my wares? They look like every
You-
other
Are you
god.
selling them?
Excuse me? You want
Are
me
you-
to get into my undies and provide you my garments?
You said they're your wares.
I purchased them from the same smithy. Well, if you don't appreciate them, I don't see why I'd want to wear them.
Phils is very confused.
It seems, give me an insight check, Pills.
Oh no.
With advantage. Your confusion seems to be leaning into a common thread of concern for you. But you can't stick your finger on it. Something is there, Pills. You've seen it before, but you're missing it every single time. All the signs have pointed to it, but you're just like, it's just crazy people in town. Whatever. They just hire cheap
My
employees.
next character is going to be wisdom based.
So you guys head out, go all the way around, and you guys end up just south of the base of the tower.
Parkour.
Do you guys go around and walk up it, or do you parkour and climb it?
Go around. I'm not
You walk
having good luck.
around, and as you guys head up it, there's a new noise. It's like a and eventually in sight, you notice that this globioid noise is because what was before is now much larger, at least 5 times the original mass in production that it was once. As you arrive, you guys may now make wisdom saving throw, including Miss Allie.
Wisdom saving.
While we were walking here,
Uh-huh.
can I add that I was looking at the scroll of curse at the
Sure.
where
You can give
gave
me a hold on. This is a big question. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, the
You're
scroll
good.
of what?
curses?
Give me a wisdom check.
Straight wisdom.
Sorry, did you ask us all to make wisdom saving throws?
Yeah, all of you guys.
Okay.
Yes.
But he also needs a wisdom flat check because he wanted to look at the scroll before arriving. Oof.
Oh, is it saving throw or a wisdom check?
So you need one of each.
Okay.
There's a
Got it.
saving throw for arriving here, and then there's the check for you reading the scroll.
Ooh, sweet.
Damn.
No headaches this time.
No. Oh yeah, for the saving. Yes. For looking at the scroll, as you're reading it, you're totally distracted at where that you arrived. Well, the rest of them, yeah, Pills, Hazel, and Allie are all having this kind of fog. It's like static on a TV. It's just like interrupting your guys' thoughts as you get closer. Wrath, you look up and you now see a much larger globioid from what you saw before. As you know, what the scroll in your hands is absolutely not going to help them, but it does allow you to potentially cast 4 other curses on an unfortunate individual.
Okay.
And you look at your friends and they all seem to be distracted as if there's something squishing their pressure.
I'll go up to the blue globule
Yeah, thingy.
thingy,
Purplish in
and
nature.
see if I can talk to the guy, and I'll say, "Hello, are you still alive?"
You now hear, before what sounded like a actual humanoid apprentice on the inside, you now hear like a you understand that it is screaming for help, but it is absolutely distorted across multiple forms.
Okay.
The rest of you guys, the other 3 that are under the effects of this failure, do take 5 points of psychic damage.
Need some Excedrin.
It is painful as it is slowly weighing on your persons. But Wrath, you may continue.
Can I? So I can't really hear him.
Well, it says help me. I mean, it spoke very clear to you. It's just spoken very distorted, multi voices.
Okay. And I'll ask him, how can I help you break out of here?
You hear, free your mind. I don't. You hear free your mind, and then you hear another more human-like voice saying don't. You can go ahead and give me an insight check. At advantage. This obviously doesn't look safe. Freeing your mind sounds very horribly wrong. They're your allies as you look at them. You guys hear this, but it seems to just be more painful. Every time they speak, you guys seem to be taking some sort of accumulative stacking damage. It almost gets worse. I mean, not necessarily in the sense of my roll, but the dice grow.
And we kind of correlate the presence here with that damage.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time it speaks, you guys get this high screeching pain.
I think Pills is just gonna and like hold his head and run away off the hill.
You run off. Miss Allie's just runs after you. Hazel, do you stay to see what's going on, or do you?
I'll also shout towards Hazel before she does anything. See how far back you need to walk before the pressure goes away. Just to see if we could still talk.
Hazel, you hear, still talk, distance, far back.
Okay, I'm backing up.
She's gone. They
Okay.
all leave down the
Never
hill, and you're
mind.
like,
Never mind.
you're wondering if they're going to respond to you, but instead they get a totally different message from their muddled thoughts. Though, the three of you guys are no longer muddled. Pills and Hazel, you arrive at the bottom. Miss Allie's just, that was not fun, is what she tells Hazel. Pills, you understand that this thing, whatever it is psychotic in nature.
I try to shout. See if you can hear me.
To Wrath?
Yeah.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
I actually didn't even hear what you said because.
Are you okay?
Oh, okay. That's what she said. And I'll respond, yes, I'm okay. I don't seem to be getting the headache this time. What should I be looking for? I didn't catch that, sorry.
Oh. Good for you.
Okay.
You see the populace around you guys at the bottom, around Pills and Hazel, just looking at you guys weird. What you going yelling about for? There's enough of us already hollering and yelling about our wares. We don't need any competition with people on the hill and the crazies. Gosh, so inconsiderate. Passengers.
Do you not know what's going on up there?
I bloody hell wouldn't even step up there if I could.
Why is that?
Bah. He walks off, and then you see like a little kid come up and like nudge, and they're probably about half your size, Pills. Oh, mister, you haven't heard of the dangers. There was a young
cover
boy.
my coin pockets.
You what?
I instinctually just cover my coin pockets.
Got it.
I'm so distrustful.
Got it. It's going to make an insight check to see if it continues telling you. It looks at you. It realizes it. Mister, it's dangerous. And they run off. They're just like, fuck that. Like, they were definitely going to pickpocket your ass. But they were going to give you information in exchange. And they were like, no, this guy's on us. Laters. But they do give you some valid information. It's dangerous. Whatever the hell happens up there is, happens up there. Wrath. You're up there and you now telepathically hear in a deeper tone, almost as if it's kind of surfacing your thought level. It's not piercing your mind, but it's on there. Fresh thoughts mean minds, I hear. I've been bored of this apprentice and need new substance. How do you respond?
Food is always good. What kind of food can I get you?
Intellectual beings would be a grand gesture. They just need non-voluntarily tap into my entity. You get the sense that once they touch this unfavorable globioid, in some sense, that the deed is complete.
And if I give you a fresh being, you will leave this man alone?
No, I've enjoyed so much of its flavors in its body that I couldn't imagine thinking that only one would suffice. Feyrez is the natural arcane essence in this world. So basically talking about siphoning its body.
I see. Huh. Do I get the sense that this is now a being instead of a verse per se?
Intelligence check. Or you can cast a spell that you do have.
Is it detect good and evil and good?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
As a paladin, you can either gut it or you could just snap your fingers and tell the truth right then and there of what you need to know in that sense.
Okay. Well, then I'll just do detect evil and good. I've never used it before, so we'll see how this goes.
Okay.
Yay, cast spell. You have no available level 1 spells slots.
You
Oh,
probably
okay. I have too many probably prepared.
no. It's just on there. You probably didn't do one.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you did just do one. There you go. You should be able to cast it now. I fixed it. Thank you.
Is there a limit as to how many spells I can prepare?
No, a paladin knows all of their spells, if I'm not mistaken. You just only
they
have
know all their
3.
spells, but they can only prepare
Got it.
a certain amount.
Probably 10.
I forget what it is off the top of my head. It's something about your spellcasting ability score modifier plus that amount.
Yeah, something in there about it. Let's see.
I'll just keep preparing spells until something bad
Yeah.
happens.
I mean, your spell list doesn't look crazy right now, and I've had plenty of paladins, so you're okay. You definitely are okay with what you have. But you should be able to cast again, and it's the only reason is because you just didn't click the long rest after you guys went back to our short rest even when you went to HQ, so you guys didn't get your spell slots back. But I fixed it. So, as you cast this, you absolutely understand that this is a theme, and this is not the kind of theme that people like endure. This is a theme that was sealed and ancient and long ago lost, but unfortunately for you, this apprentice has unlocked it and has now been manifested by such species. If you didn't pass that save, it would have gathered all the information it would have known about you. You imagine that it has all the information it needs on Pills and Hazel and Miss Allie from this point in its past. You imagine that when it had originally got you the day before, it surfaced all the information then. It knows your name. It knows who you are. It knows everything you know up until that previous time. This is a very powerful entity.
Very powerful.
And it is very vulnerable here, but very difficult still nonetheless. The problem is destroying what's allowing it to do what it's doing. And that is something beyond your purview at this time.
Okay. Sorry, just to clarify, the blue thingy is not part of it. It's the blue thingy is not part of this fiend.
It's evolved from that. You mean the original blue orb up on the hill?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has changed to this. So
Okay.
it's now a kind of purple-esque.
Okay. I guess what I was going to do, potentially, if this is a creature, that was cast command and tell him to drop the...
You could try.
All right. Give it a shot.
What's your command? It's a single word command.
Yep. I'm assuming it's holding the...
Now, I'm be honest. When I say single word command, the word matters.
Yeah, so I was going to tell him to drop.
Whatever you
Is-
wish.
Hmm.
I will let you think about that for a brief second. I will say drop is not the best word I'd use.
Okay.
But meanwhile, Pills and Hazel in Miss Alley down below, what is the discussion or thoughts you guys are having as Wrath has not come down, but he seems to. I don't know what the fuck he seems to be doing because down here you guys can't see it.
I'm a little bit worried about Ralph.
He said he was fine.
You sure he said
Yeah, he said he was fine. I'm more interested to know what you guys were doing in that shop. It was just all just dirt and garbage.
yeah, maybe you
You were
didn't
in there
see
for
it.
a while.
Yeah, because we got some good stuff.
Good stuff. What good stuff? It was all dirty cobweb, old shit.
Yeah, because you didn't see it. There were a bunch of stuff there.
Like what?
Oh, phew. Some stuff I didn't even know myself what it is. But a bunch of magical items.
Did you get anything?
I got some, what was it, arrows?
You got a single high level demon slain arrow. If you hit anything with a, I guess, unbeknownst to you guys, instead of using tiers, a CR 10 and lower is an insta kill if you hit them.
I don't know what that means. Interesting.
Yeah. You don't know what it means, but you know what it means. I just don't want Hazel to waste it on accident because it was just a really good. It was a really good roll. So
You can slay anybody but Dracula. Okay.
Only for it's a demon though. Demon slaying.
Yeah.
this is specifically a demon slain arrow. So it has to be considered a fiend and or demon. For that matter.
A word.
And I got roll to heal curses.
Heal curses?
Or like about curses. I don't know. Something like this. I feel like he's using this up there. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Hazel's over here like he's using that scroll he got. You know, that makes total sense. I love it.
I don't know. He's still up there. He didn't say it.
Sounds like everything's going well. He's got a scroll. Everything's all set.
There's a
She's
lot of
like, oh,
trust
you guys
there,
did great. Yeah.
We got a cheerleading squad for failure. Anyways.
So, Raph, what's your word?
Oh man, I don't.
And
so
once you cast it,
unfamiliar
it's
with this
official.
command.
Right now, it's not. I mean, so the way command works is simple. It's really simple, like you understand. Now, the only reason I'm saying the word matters is because, mind you, this is a very powerful creature, demon, fiend, manifesting over a single individual. Drop, I could skew into many, many methods other than release. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I was thinking about release, but
So was I from
is
the
it
very
is it
beginning.
okay that that it's not a part of the list? I'm assuming
The
these are
list
just
is an example
examples.
purpose only. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's any
Okay.
one word you want.
Okay.
I've had
Then
someone use dance before and it saved their lives. So, really, it's just the drop just was a poor choice and I didn't want you to lose it.
Really
Okay,
good.
gotcha. I wasn't sure if drop was just another form of release or something. But okay, yeah, I'll cast release in quotes, air quotes. That's how I cast it too. Release.
My DM style, if I'm the bad guy, it's literal every time, unless they come off as a non-literal individual. So as you go and try to cast it, go ahead and pop it in there so I have a save. Thank you.
Please. Release.
It's a wisdom save.
Yep. Please don't be wise. Oh.
Ooh,
Damn.
a 17 for a 23. You just hear this noise. It doesn't actually speak to you, but it's resisting your attempt as you tell it to release. Pills and Hazel hear that on the other end. Does that alarm you guys in any way? As you hear him say release and then hear that response, and clearly you have no clue what's really happening above.
Yeah, I feel like every time I go up there, my head is about to explode, though.
Maybe we should try it one more time and try to get Red back.
Fine. Hills begrudgingly goes up the hill to see what's going on.
Hazel
You
is
get-
following him.
you
Also
both-
with me.
All three of you get wisdom saves at advantage because you're preparing yourselves for what is about to continue to happen to yourself, to your individuals.
Nice.
Hazel's ready.
Nice.
Pills is ready. Miss Allie,
What
you
is
see
it?
wisdom save.
Oh. This one, right?
Same throw, yeah.
Good monkey.
Miss Allie purposefully will stay below. Like they're a creature of nature. They understand the magnetic fields and when stuff's not right. They're just like, I'm looking out, is what they tell Hazel. Like, a great idea, great idea. Hazel, you get the sense that, hey, you know what? You can use a lookout. You guys never have one. You guys keep walking into shit. It makes sense. It's an easy cop.
Our lookout is out on a mission looking out after somebody else.
Yeah. So you walk up
Oh.
and you guys see Wrath. He's like, you see, it's weird because Wrath is like a Goliath and he's standing at least 2.5 feet over this just natural odd substance, alien like globule that is around this person. You realize now that for Pills and Hazel, as you walk up, it's almost as if there's a now you see the apprentice wizard in almost a fetal position in this opaque covered like goo, and Wrath is there speaking to the goo itself that seems to have its own kind of visual front, while what's inside is feeling the being it is. All three of you get this channel merger, and the conversation continues from the fiend. And it's now, mind you, it's only speaking to Wrath. And Hazel and Pills, you get this. You understand that. I would say, Pills, you've been around things before on accident, and you understand that it's casting an AoE spell for it to speak to him, and anyone can hear it, but the direction is still understood. So to Wrath.
I reach out to Wrath and I kind of, I guess, touch his back because I can't reach his shoulder.
Where is this going? Sorry. Yes.
This thing is really dangerous. You need to be really careful. And I cast guidance on him.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Nice. Got it. It goes. You seem quick to feed me. You get the sense, all three of you, that there's like a desperateness, but a comfortable sense in which it has. Like, it controls where it stands, but at the same time, it doesn't need you for something. I will take any sacrifices you can offer me anytime you want to deliver. And then you get that pause of thought. I will consider releasing my subject.
Sorry, I must have missed part of that. Consider releasing the subject.
Releasing his subject. That's it. He stopped at that.
Oh,
So depending on how many sacrifices you give him, we'll decide on whether or not he releases this individual that he has now claimed.
I could cast command one more time. I feel like we could also attack this thing now that everybody's here.
You guys are always open to sidebar.
Okay, so I'll kind of like, I'll feel Pills touch my backside, and then I'll tell him I just tried to cast command on this fiend to release him, but I feel like I can only cast it one more time for the day. Do you think we should? Do you think it's asking for more sacrifices? Do you want to sacrifice our servants? That's or a servant that's in our establishment, or do you want to see if we can fight this thing, or I can try to cast command one more time?
do I guess I have to ask this for myself. Does Pills get the sense that this thing is something that is fightable? That we could fight this thing, and is there like a tangible thing that I could like lash out at?
It is a yeah. It looks like a jelly, like a goo that's surrounding this humanoid body that's stuck inside. It is tangible, but the only time you ever see this kind of stuff is one, super deadly jelly, and two, very powerful magic. You don't see this stuff normally, like gelatinous cubes, those kind of like Opre jellies, brown sludges. You've seen them all, and it's not because you go on high at stake adventures. It's because they belong in the deepest and darkest places,
Yeah.
and you came from those places, and you know that down in those places, these things don't just appear. They don't just come around the corner. They didn't fall from a stalactite, stalagmite, or whatever it was. They're created by very powerful, very demented, confused, and darkened into beings that are very far below for the most part. So something like this on a surface level, far from home, controlling a wizard, whether an apprentice or not, in your opinion, a magical being, very capable of casting things with 3 very impressive towers, I might add, for Pills. This is probably super bad news bears. You're walking onto a field where this game is the same, but on a next level.
Okay.
Implausible?
Yeah.
No. Would it happen? Great if you succeed? Yes, Pills. But you choose your judgment, or you can.
So Pills is not very keen on. He's very keen on taking advantage of people, but not about killing or sacrificing perceived innocence.
Yes. Okay.
So if we could try attack it, I don't know if it's gonna release its hostage. I don't know a lot about this kind of magic.
Okay. I wonder if we should just investigate the towers to see if we can find out more about this being or.
Hazel, I would say, being of your nature, this is absolute dark magic. You know it's not natural. You know it wasn't created by any gods that you believe in or were raised by, or anyone else follows or believes in. This is, I guess, as evil as it could get in the sense of the OG stuff. Like, it doesn't feel as powerful, or you didn't think it feels as it would feel so weird, but you know that this is absolutely out of nature. Wrath is the only individual that doesn't have the intelligence or understanding or crossing with such substance to understand the significance of it being here at this time.
I guess I will try to talk to Pills and Ruff to back up, because she's just like not sure if we could win this fight.
So just to kind of quantify Pill's understanding, he understands that this is it's out of place. It's summoned here. Someone brought it here because it doesn't just show up.
Correct. You
But
believe it's absolutely stronger than an orc ray jelly, and those things are stupid fierce.
Yeah. So
I mean, if you guys can totally convince it to release or succeed, if you could succeed in a command, that is like the holy snap, 0% chance it happens. You guys are way ahead of your gains. But if you fail this and it gets mad, someone might die on accident from a single punch, because you understand that much, Pills. Jellies are not to be fucked with unless you can fuck with them. As weird as they are slow, but they are insane, scary strong.
this is
Just back up altogether.
yeah.
Try
So
one more time. I'm feeling the luck.
It's just like stepping back.
Miss Allie and Hazel quickly swift away as Wrath goes to give his last Johnny Bravo one-liner.
Am I still guided? Do I still have guidance on him? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
because it's,
Release.
saving throw against the other person.
Just in case, yeah, you got it. You give him a little flicker of guidance as you go to abandon him.
Oh, I don't abandon him. I stay with
Okay.
him.
Oh, you stay there. Okay. With that, Pills, I need you to give me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Is this magic?
It is.
It is. Can I roll it at advantage because
You
of
may.
my gnomish, whatever the heck it is?
You may. Ancestry, yes.
It doesn't matter because it's an 11 and a 12.
The individual itself, you see Wrath in front of you, the global watch. You need to release my golden subject that found me. And he basically is saying that, I didn't call for this. It called me. I'm here because it brought me here. Yet you pull me away from my purpose. It is going to send a compelling blast of psychic energy in both your guys' directions. Pills and Wrath, I need Constitution saving throws as your whole body vibrates. Pills, you have advantage in this because of your previous save. Hazel, you can give me an insight check to see whether or not you feel a gut-wrenching feeling that something could be going wrong.
All right.
So that
What can I save again?
Constitution save?
A con.
Oh my God.
Ooh. Hazel, you are just. What were they thinking in your mind? You're just kind of like in one of the rampages of elvishness and behavior where you're just like snotty nosing, like that was such a stupid decision, and now they're both gonna die, and there's gonna be a very good luck that's just me and Alan. Now we're in debt, and you're just imagining all the bullshit that you're gonna have to take on because they're never coming back. Wrath, Pills. You share a quick moment of guidance. Wrath, you have guidance? You didn't. Is it saving throws or just checks?
Oh, that
Wait,
was.
I don't know. Pills. Is it
Oh,
saving throws also or no?
guidance is for, I think it's just checks.
Sorry, I was trying to give you a benefit.
Um,
See, that would be a great purpose for a research tower. Just putting it
It's
out
just
there.
checks.
That's a great idea for a tower. I wouldn't have thought of it until now.
Research too.
So yeah, Wrath and Pills share a moment as you guys look at each other. And then Pills, you absorb 50% of Wrath's life. You see the poverty he went through, the struggles. You see everything to the point in which 50% of his life was lived from the moment of now. You thought you had it crazy tough. Up here is a disaster. Down there, it's real simple. Everything kills everything. Nothing is a friend. It's all a threat. Up here, they act like your friends. And then they stab you in the back. They eat your foot. If they're hungry enough, they'll even trade you to the goblins. Like, Wrath has seen it all. If he wasn't a big dude, it would be a lot harder life for him. But because he can squish a couple people with his fingers and kick a couple others like a soccer ball and bust out of very poorly tied bands of appendages, ropes, and other things, I mean, he'd have a hard time, but he's a big fella, and that's why he got through it all. You share this brief moment with him. What you don't share is the damage Wrath feels and the time he shares all this with you. Takes 12 points of psychic damage as you feel the yank and the pressure of your casted spell connecting tether to this creature. You hear a brief kind of mute in your ears as if it phases out. And then you realize something. For a brief period, you look, and everything that was existent is now still. The creature itself almost solidified like a beautiful glass blown ornament. There's even bubbles as if it had stopped completely in its moment. Normally you never saw this, but it clearly was breathing some way. Though you have a massive migraine, Wrath, it's kind of like you're coming over some kind of shock grenade or EMP, and you're just like, oh man, that hurt. You think Pills went through the same thing because he just gives you a sympathetic look and naturality, but you both see this completely solidified structure now encompassing this wizard that you could see through, like as if it was a beautifully glass blown object with an item inside in the fetal position, still and stiffened.
I
I
like the
shoot it with
pill.
an Eldritch Blast.
Say that again. Sorry.
I shoot it with an Eldritch Blast.
as as Wrath goes to look closer at it, give me an attack check at disadvantage because ironically things that are considered prone are at disadvantage for range attacks. Super dumb,
Oh,
but
it's
it is what it is.
prone. Oh god.
Yeah. You fire. You as you fire it, it kind of goes around it like a racetrack, like it's redirected, and then it flies up to the blue tower. And then at the very top of the blue tower, you see the flag, and the flag turns into like a snake serpent and just consumes the force from the object blast. At least the first shot. Do you fire the second?
Oh, I don't have a second.
Oh shoot! Sorry, I'm so used to being like,
Oh,
everyone's a
lovely.
freaking warlock, so they're shooting like 5 of them and shit, and I'm just like, yes. So wait.
5. You get more
Well,
than 2 later?
No, it's just they do
level
that
three,
and a billion other
3.
things. Yeah, you get up to
Oh.
3. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh no, you can get up to 4. I
Later
apologize.
on,
You
you
get 4 at 17.
4
Yeah.
or 5,
Mm.
yeah. Maybe
And then there's
it's
an
like-
item. There's a whole thing of things. Yeah.
And then there's research. Just kidding.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The research is so potential. It's just you gotta weigh the odds. Like where are you gonna put it, how it benefit is it, et cetera, et cetera.
So
But
sorry,
that's where it plays in favor. Go ahead.
can you describe this again? So it's prone? Is it like flat on the ground?
I'm trying to update it. Sorry, so that it doesn't look like that to you guys. You guys see now.
Oh, what the heck?
It's huge. That was be so big.
Is that the apprentice?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to. Sorry.
Okay. I'm just wondering if I could pull the apprentice out.
Got it. No, so it is a solid structure. I have an effect for that. Sorry. There we go. So
Whoa.
it is like a, like I described, a glass crystallized structure, but the apprentice is still within. You saw Pills completely miss, and one of the blue tower specifically, the highest flag turn into a serpent and consume the spell, as if protecting the individual you fired as a whole. I'm not saying it's protecting the demon in any way or the fiend, but it's protecting the target in general.
Sorry. So based off my my magic here, which
It
is
is evil
detect
as
evil
fuck.
and good.
It's a fiend. Yep, it's a fiend. It's
Fiend,
absolutely evil.
okay.
It's still present. But you have basically paused it momentarily. You know that this was a 1% below opportunity chance of happening. It is not strong enough to prevent it from coming back and existing, but you have found a moment in time to reprieve the individual to go under the effects of such. So it's like
Pills. I'll
a
look towards
window.
pills and just be like, what do I do here? Should I try to
This thing doesn't belong here. It's been brought here. Someone brought it here. It's very dangerous, but it does not belong in this town. This is super. We need to find some way to get rid of this thing. Otherwise, it doesn't belong here.
So we can't get it out? We can't get him out?
I-
You guys say that as I somehow roll a 21 and you see the apprentice just like fidget at the bottom base of it, and his leg like twitches, his arm starts to move, and you see like the physical ice frozen space and body down the inside forming out as if it's making like a little like kind of pocket for itself as it's like stretching, and you see this apprentice awakening inside this capsule of sorts. What do you two do?
Is any part of his body extending outside of the thing?
It is completely encapsulated in it. But he's moving. And the capsule is deteriorating up to the border of reality, which I would say the material and where he's within. Just for,
I guess I shoot another Eldritch Blast.
You could.
With the intention of shooting it, I am trying to shatter this glass-like thing around him.
I get that.
Okay.
It follows the same rules because he's still prone, and it is
Right.
the glass-like thing is unfortunately still a creature in which is
Right.
bound to this entity. Yeah, hit it. You guys see this little like force? Give me some damage. You see,
Oh, hold on. And
it
some-
cracks. It's not enough, but you guys see this. Obviously, this natural, beautiful glass like sculpture now cracking, showing vulnerability as the individual inside. Go ahead and add that. You see a chip pop out. You guys hear from the inside. What happened? What happened inside? You kind of hear like a whisper of now the apprentice awake on the inside in a hollowed shell of captivity. What are you to do? Hazel, you even hear like this whisper in the wind of a individual asking what happened.
Is any part of his body exposed from the encasing?
No, it's imagine that there was a force pull of water that was frozen in place at the time of the command release occurred. And then everything above it was the non-humanoid shape of this entity in a alien-like nature. And you guys kind of are breaking the midway point.
I'll try to do damage at the same spot as Hills by.
Hazel, you hear chipping glass and sharp sounds of damage, structural-like things. It sounds like a struggle of sorts. At least in this time. Hazel reports, nothing suspicious is down here. You're safe.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast a Word of Radiance, targeting only the shell and not the apprentice.
Gosh, we wish magic worked that way.
Oh, it doesn't, because it.
I'm just fucking with you because the reason why I tease you about that is because it itself is a single creature. I know your intentions, but the spell says targets creature, so therefore targeting said creature means the creature as a whole. So if you hit anything, it hurts everything.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
At least how it's being described at this time. It's not always that way, but in this case, I have constantly been consistent about making it clear that it is this one.
Oops. Is that? Oh, I think you need to do a
It's a
DCs.
concept,
Yeah.
Like, ba-doop, 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 ba-doop. Fails you 3 points. Shattering it more to where easily like a whole body couldn't birth out of it, but enough space to feel comfortable talking through it and not feeling like you're captive and there's hope still. The apprentice at the bottom puts his hand up and is just like, it's sharp. I couldn't possibly just.
Can I reach in there and just grab
I
him
can't
out?
see.
Is his hand exposed?
Who's out there? You could see like a hand wavering from like you guys can see him completely because it's clear on the outside. But for him, he seems as if he's blinded. You see him waving his hand by the opening where you guys can easily reach through and catch it.
Yeah.
But it
I'm
does
gonna-
look jagged to where it's not safe to like lean a hand over or hold on to grasp. But you could see him inside also waving. You see his whole body, but you see himself as if he is proposed as blinded inside.
I touch his hand,
Uh,
and just
I,
you. This doesn't belong here. You need to fight this. And then I cast guidance on him.
I,
And you cast guidance
Fight
as
this.
it empowers him, and he is going to, as I pull up his sheet, to make another save. As you grab onto him, what color would you say your general manifestation gives off?
Oh, the guidance. Oh, it's this like his hand
Your choice.
becomes like dusty and dirty, as though it's been like entombed in a cavern for like a millennia, just acquiring dust.
Age to perfection, age to
Yeah.
purpose, age to moment needed. Gotcha. Age to discovery. Sure. As you grab his hand and Wrath, you see this like mummy scene occurring before you, and then quickly just as all of the glass-like obstruction of this slime around it, in which you froze for this period, shatters into like tempered glass, falling into multiple thousands of pieces, just on the floor, into the ground, all over the place by the feet of this wizard apprentice, who's now being held by Pill still through it, and is now no longer covered and blocked by any things. And he's just like, "Wait, I made a mistake," and he just collapses unconscious from exhaustion.
Wrath, I think we need to take this person back to our
House.
All right, and I'll scoop him up
whatever we
by
call
the.
it.
I'll grab him by the collar just to pick him up out of the glass and all over.
Wait, before we leave, let's make sure we clear off all of the debris and the glass and the
As
stuff.
you are saying that, both of you give me Arcana checks.
I was maybe
Hazel, you peeked your eyes over because you were curious of their well-being. Give me a perception. Miss Allie nudges Hazel up from the bottom, just poof. Hazel flies up, whoa, and pops up and sees just in time as Wrath and Pills are like scooting their feet around to try to, collect and gather. All of you witness just every single piece of shattered debris pierce and sink into the ground, leaving dark, pivotal marks all over the place. And you all hear a fainted, "You all wish it be so easy to fight." And then it fades out.
Dang.
You look at this boy on the floor, blonde-haired, lackluster in any kind of physical might. You couldn't tell if they were talented just by looking at them because they look like a dud. Yet, they're present. And they're breathing softly. And you feel confident that this was the right decision. You saved them. What do you guys wish to do other than bring them to your humble abode? Do you send them off with the Jabine, or do you take them? you loot them first. Pills quickly pats his
I
body
loot
down
the
for
corpse.
identification.
No.
Do we want to just take him into one of these towers instead and see what's inside?
Let's take him. He's disoriented, is my understanding.
Unconscious and disoriented.
Okay, well, we
Let's-
can take him to our headquarters if you want.
Let's take him back.
Okay, we'll take him back then.
Then we can
I
question
put him on my
and then-
shoulder, and then we work our way down.
Yeah.
You got it. You guys head back over to your HQ. Put that there.
As we get back, as I come in, I walk over to William and I just say, William, Mr. Defoe, keep an eye on this one. Do I understand anything he says?
Absolutely not. You just understand that they have absolutely 100% to the best of their abilities done everything you guys requested. And they responded their names perfectly. And so it just stands by its side like a chaperone.
Same also the other two. They don't have names.
So at like fourth wall, I want to leave at least one of them to be named by the fourth member whenever they come.
Okay.
And then the fifth one, I don't know.
Will we ever have a fifth member, or is it just going to be 4?
I really don't know. It's up to chance at that point. I just knew for sure that we'd have Trav eventually in the future. They're just running through hiccups in their finalized campaign. But otherwise, anything else is just by pure possibility. And that doesn't matter because you guys will have plenty of followers in the future. These are your guys' achievements. You don't have to be so
We
kind.
call the fifth one number 5.
All right. At least so they have a
Fourth one
title.
leave to
4.
To-
We call it 4 for now. That
to
we
the-
know that what mission it is.
We'll call it the fourth one, Travis Jr.
There you go. Yeah, it's funny. Did you know that the fourth player's name is Travis?
I think you just mentioned it.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That was good. That's cool.
Actually, that was my psychic.
Yeah, right.
Like
right,
a fiend.
There you go. They'll
I
get
see your DM notes. I'm just kidding.
All right, so they're all named. William Defoe is definitely watching your guys' new oncomer. He gets brought in, and overall, he's still unconscious at this time. It's up to you guys to wake him up willingly or as you see fit.
I think we should wake him up. I think he slept long enough. Do we want to seem hospitable and give him some food?
Why not?
I think that's a good idea. It'll make him more receptive to our questions when he wakes up.
All right. I'll cut off a little piece of meat that I still have. I didn't finish yet. Maybe
Okay.
do you want to give him some of your alcohol to loosen his tongue a little bit? From your genie lamp?
For my alcohol.
Yeah.
So to be fair, I'm gonna be fair with you guys. Pills. You have 2 beneficial markets from the fissure. Its blood is alcohol. Its meat is what I priced you at.
So we need to get some barrels so that we can store the essence of fissure. TM. And then we can sell the meat. We need to extract the blood and then sell the meat.
Sounds
So that
good.
we can kind of double dip on the corpse.
Yeah. Sounds good. I like that.
And then I can get it out of my
I got a
little,
SingStar expert in the background. Sorry. Go
my
ahead.
little abode. My private sanctuary. My private sanctuary is full of this giant dead crustacean.
Okay.
It needs to get out.
Okay. I'll. Okay. Yeah. Let's go buy a barrel.
But do you wake him up first? I was just bringing that up when you said give him
Okay.
some alcohol. I just wanted to put it out there that you guys, I wanted to make it very clear that you can gain from both. But, you know. So, did I tell you guys my role as a DM? Like, where I cut off all these awesome ideas?
No.
Once you... Wait, let me look. I haven't even looked at you guys' characters. Boom. Yeah, okay. Once you guys pass level 5, I no longer input these kind of things. I just kind of stay quiet and just watch you guys make mistakes.
Yeah.
All right. I hope we don't get to level.
So I'll do as much as I can in giving you guys the best insight to how open I am to your ideas by giving you my own for you guys. But only if you guys ever mention it, like, You did now, etc. And it just triggers them. I'm like, oh, let me just feed that in. But after level 5, I'm real more enemy are going to use it against you 100%.
Oh boy.
Continue. You guys' creativity,
let's wake 'em up.
imagination is it. All right. Do you wake him up calmly, kindly? Are you slapping him in the face with the meat you're giving him? What's going on?
I'll wake
Do
him
we
up.
have
Alright.
before we wake him up? Do we have a cup or a mug or something?
Sure. One of the Gerbine bring it up. We'll say Sasha. Just they bring you one. It has a small little hole, and they patched it with very, very questionable burlap and its thickness and what else they put in there. It could be foil disease, maybe, but you're not drinking it, so
Yeah.
I
okay.
quickly just cast a mend on the cup.
it's so much better. My goodness, Boop, boop. Pristine. Went from
I take the mug,
tetanus to safe.
pop into my sanctuary, drain a little blood into
As you
there.
pop in pills, you're like kind of squeezed. There's really no comfortable spot to get in because of just this massive creature and its dispartment. And you got like these weird, like these tree sap taps that you just kind of like chuck it in and you put it there, and then you yank it back out, and it naturally creates like this weird like wart knot on the outside to kind of tighten it so that it no longer leaks and bleeds. It's a very unique Duragard underground technology that you have patent on the overworld because it hasn't been up here, but exists very well down there. But you haven't seen it up here yet, and it's called the self tap. But you can choose, whatever you would. You can call it whatever you want, but that's just what it does. Yeah.
I fill this mug or cup or whatever it is up with some of the blood, and I pop back out, and then I hand it off to Wrath.
Thank you. And
Do you drink it?
No, I do not drink it. But I do wake up our friend kindly.
He's like, ugh. Oh, is he like bound? How do you guys have him? Like just like is he loose? Just laying there?
I would say he's loose.
Okay. So he's like right in his eyes.
William Dafoe is peering down on him.
He's like, he winces at him. You must be one of those rat folk. Fascinating. Truly like the real thing, just 20 times. He looks back around. Oh, and you must be a 20 times human. Goliath, I must imagine.
I am. And here,
He looks at Pills, cocks his head for whatever reason.
Don't
You're
say
awfully
it.
pale. And you
No,
don't
what are you
belong
talking
here at all. And he looks at Hazel and Al at the same time. Are you the ones that saved me?
It was this big guy and the small one.
He looks between the two of you. And then he looks at his
Yes.
arm. As he looks at his arm, he's like, okay.
Is it missing?
So you guys notice that there's like this black mark that's kind of shunned at the moment as he's looking at it, but there looks to be some kind of tattooish like demeanor upon it. So you got me out of it, but you didn't get me away from it. But who are you? And do you know what you just done?
I pull my little trowel out, and I... Didn't we need to cut that off?
I've tried. He shows you, and you see like 4th degree like regrowth. Like it is like a weird divot there, as if he had maggots eating at it, and he like cleared it out, and it healed over time, and it's like a bad scar. He's literally you can imagine that this beautiful looking perfect tattoo over this mutilated skin, he has absolutely made every attempt to rid of.
Cut the whole arm off.
Yes. I think that ends up in my death. I've seen a friend do it. Not the same mark. But that happened.
So that's a no, then.
I'd much rather try to live, since I am at this time. Many of us were consumed, taken. We all
You
were.
were pretty much consumed. I would say consumed was a very good description of what you were.
He just kind of nods like off and like agreement, 100% in the distance. You're very right. Absolutely correct. But you took me out of it so they could be saved. He's like revolutionary. Like he's kind of delirious. You don't know how long he's been under this effect, but you realize at this point he's now coming over a realization that there's hope for a potential because he himself is understanding that he is himself again. At least
How long
right
were
now.
your friends encased before you were?
Engaged. He looks confused. I can't quite say that I understand your message here. What was I in?
You were surrounded by, engulfed by some kind of
Glass.
slime, and then
Ooh.
you became this kind of glass-like structure.
Oh no. Are
We
you
were able to shatter the glass and then help you escape.
you're saying that the Valkyrie is loose?
The what?
The Valkyrie.
The glass?
That's all right.
Do we know what this is?
Pills, history and advantage because you come from deep below. Hazel, religion check because you heard it in your scriptures. Right. A Goliath is only born of hearing the truest of tales. You would have known of the slain, so give me a history check at advantage. You never were a study, Wrath.
And not on this subject.
Hazel, it's dark, it's dangerous, but you do not know the specifications. Pills. It's on the cusp. What you do recall is it is one of the most Hades sealed beings you could imagine. If this was Hercules and these were Hades Titans, this would be the only Titan you need. Even though there are claimed to be more, you would only need one.
Oh. I know nothing.
Do I know that the shattering of the glass is related to this thing being on the loose?
You know that it is still bound to this person because you saw it on its arm. The shattering of the glass was breaking the suspension of time on the apprentice. When you declared it to release it, appeals, you understand that when Wrath declared it to be released, it did release. It had it frozen in that shard this entire time. It was encompassing that shard, projecting itself to its current, to your guys' current plane. It still is connected and tethered, but Wrath was able to push it back. Now it must regain the power to reconnect, though it is not yet safe.
I'm afraid we probably only freed you temporarily. If you could tell us, maybe, is there anything in the towers that were around you that could help us free you more permanently?
I don't have access to any of the towers without the masters, and they too were taken by subminions. I was the only one who got to the end of the dungeon. And I did what I was told not to do.
What dungeon was this?
There's a chasm north of the crowd. south on the continent Van Qui.
Are you going to make this available in the map, or should we write it down?
I do actually. Yeah, absolutely write it down. I don't mind you taking notes. I
What did you?
you know,
What did you
but I do have the
you were
world map.
supposed to do? And sorry, what was the continent called?
Van Qui, and
Van
I will type it for you. Yeah, and yeah, 1 second.
South of the Van Key.
It's only pills every time because I had you selected them every time. But
Yeah, whatever.
And north of what did you say?
north of Crow.
Did you spell that?
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly how it sounds. So did you make a pact with this fiend, or what were you trying to do? What were you told not to do, I guess?
I was we are not to speak of this outside these walls for the dangers it will
course.
bring to any and all. Even you interacting in the way you have, it's now marked to you by shit. He seems certain that you guys are in danger now with him. I was on an expedition seeking a relic that did not end up in anyone's favor. It hunted us each down. We all fought it. And everyone protected me because I was just a squire. But I was the only one it wanted in the end. The rest were given as minions to trolls and other beings that could just boss them around as if they were nothing. But I was new. I offered them an opportunity to be free. Back into the world. Unleashed from the tethered cords of capture and imprisonment.
I know the feeling.
So you unleashed this into our world?
No,
Oh no, I meant the apprentice.
We interacted with a... He struggles to kind of find the word. The artifact is what he ends up landing on. And we believe that tether has unfortunately made us vulnerable to its entire homage from its times of existence before.
what is the artifact?
It was known as the seed.
This venom? Just kidding.
So the seed is what he refers to, but none of you guys know it in any way whatsoever. But he seems like he speaks of it like it makes total fucking sense. Like, come on.
I guess at this point I'll be like, this is pretty deep. Let's take a break, and I'll give him my cup of alcohol, and I'll introduce myself and the party. And
He
then I'll
takes
ask
it and
for
he's just like,
what's his name.
he just starts chugging it in a slurring like manner and listens to you guys.
And then I'll ask for what his name is.
Hey. He like blinks and seems to like stutter.
Is he drunk?
I feel as if it is blocking my ability to give this information. Hazel, can you give me a history check? I
What?
know something you don't know. Let's see. Give me a history check.
History. History.
immediately on the top of your mind in all of this scenario, the term and creature aboleth comes to mind. You know in your heritage and your history of family that at one point they were led, misleadingly so, by a creature of the deep. They are a sea monster or cavern monster, but they require some kind of fluid substance to reside in. They have been found in lava and other proceedings that seem unlivable. But they are known as aboleths, and they are frequently known to brainwash their prey, and when losing their tether, removing all memory of their existence, and not only that, preventing their prey from ever speaking them. You do not know any other creature that has ever been record to do this, but if an aboleth can, and they are a monstrosity, you imagine anything with the power of a god could. But only Hazel would understand. But yes, an aboleth.
What was the cut? Never mind. Phil doesn't know. Never mind. Level
Otherwise,
3 with an aboleth?
he seems super confused.
No, it's about the. No. Just
So Wrath had asked him what was his name, and he goes, "For some reason, I can't remember it. It seems as if I'd be blocked from speaking of such things." And then Hazel made a check, and the only creature Hazel's ever known to come in contact in her history of family heritage with that can erase their existence or preventing people from speaking such names is a creature known as an aboleth.
Okay.
I go, that sucks, man.
And he does provide you guys from his pocket a beautiful map of the entire record kept region of Leva up to his current known date. He
How
speaks of the
convenient.
Corral, but the only place you see with that name is Cape Corral. The only place you see with the chasm is north of that. You imagine that for some reason it is no longer called Cape, but it is called Corral, at least the way he says it. And you would understand that the place he said he went to was somewhere here.
Oh. Sorry, were you implying that he has no memory of his past now?
He can't speak of it.
Okay.
He wants to.
It's
He knows it.
Okay.
He is prevented from controls, but unbeknownst from himself, that prevent him from even slurring it. He can't write it. He cannot communicate it in any way. And he understands that now that he's trying. But he does not know why.
What was Crowell related to?
In which where so he was so they believe that all three towers are currently considered vacant from your guys', I would give you guys understanding, because these dudes went on an excavation. It went south. They released the Mummy Returns 3, and it's more than just the Scorpion King. And all shit's broke loose. Each of them were taken by lesser beings, and he was unfortunately chosen by the prince itself in all retrospect. You guys stopped him for now, but he still wields the mark, which means it will come back. It will find him. It does have the tether. Wrath only saved him for a
Crowell
brief
is like
moment.
the being that is
Corral
tormenting-
north of no, so Corral is the city. So Corral is the city they mentioned north in which they were coming from.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, basically, they said they came from a chasm in which they were doing a deep sea artifact search for, and it was north of the Corral. But on the map he provides you, it says Cape Corral, and it's because for reasons I know. You imagine that this is an older map, but it's still, that's the only thing that can correlate with what he said.
So they came from a town north of Crowell.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And you imagine it's somewhere here because he said the chasm. He mentioned that he did a excavation, and Clasp is north here on another continent.
Okay, fast travel all the way to Chasm. Just kidding. At this point, I'll ask him, do you realize what year this is? I'm assuming he's like from an older year and
He drinks his drink. I thought you needed a break to talk to your friends. But he goes on to say, "No, you go,
All right. Yeah,
he kind of coughs up. I believe that I believe times are changing swiftly.
they have.
I saw 3 cities burn in my recent travels. It's like the Slain Wars when it was a Pangea. But perhaps you are all too young to remember." He says this and he looks very humanoid, but he says this as if he's old in stature.
Hmm.
Hazel, any thoughts, any interjections, any questions, any sidebars with your team?
I mean, she just only noticed with the name that this creature, does she figured out something else? Or like has she some connections, or like Miss Ellie? Does
Miss
Ellie know?
Ellie just feels negative energy in a bestial like nature. It's bad news bears. What you're doing is good for the person there, but what they're harboring is a bigger danger. Like Miss Ellie's like, I'm gonna fight for you, but I'm telling you this is really, really bad.
Okay.
Do you have any ideas as to how to untether yourself from the creature? Or if that's even a good idea?
Before it barred me from any of the towers, I believe if I could find the other masters, we can take away their grasp of minionship to this fiend, which will require us to unfortunately kill them in their grand minds, leaving lost knowledge lost. I do not know a way to save them, as you've only hesitated the inevitable for me, to my current understanding. He doesn't know either. It's a wild card in everyone's opinion, but he has the mark at the end of the day.
How many other masters were there?
There were 3 masters, but 2 other apprentices.
And were they all possessed by minions?
I watched all of us fall as I went ahead in hopes of foolishly completing a task meant to be failed.
You mentioned you were a squire. Who was your master?
His name is on the tip, as if he meant the colors of the nature in which each of them could have been, had you approached their towers to knock and randomly guess their names. Had I had any other way of describing who they could be or their names, I would have creatively considered it. But in all my studies, this is the best I have ever been to harbor. The towers are the key. But what's inside, too, I am an unknown. Basically, he's only ever served one. He does not know what the other 2 secrets are, what their security measures are, what could be within, even if you get access to it. 3 powerful mages summon something dangerous.
Do you know which tower is the one you served?
He thinks he's gonna make it. Pills. Give me a D100. You gotta roll higher than a 46.
46. That's an interesting number.
You think you try to lean in on this pressure, and you just Hmm. I am. I am. I feel like I must nap with this heavy burden of rest and intoxication. And he just goes into unconsciousness.
Sleepy,
Can't
sleepy.
hold his liquor.
Say again? Oh, yeah.
Oh, Hill said he can't hold his liquor.
Absolutely not.
All right, I'll have Martin move him to a corner of the room.
Martin and the other four all just get like little kind of ripped up tarps and canvas pieces and just kind of tuck it under their shoulders and basic heavier joint points and start tugging them. You guys hear just like a Unfortunately for you guys, it's also sweeping that part of the floor in which they're being dragged across. Though it will require multiple, it is a great step in the right direction.
Perfect. You mentioned that these rats need some type of compensation. What did you say in the before? Was it compensation or just to
To
be fed?
consume all of your well goods and to make sure that you will never be able to succeed in the future. When you get items that are key, they will take them and steal them and pawn them and make sure that they will never be acquired for you when you need them most. That demon arrow slaying thingy, gone already. The Verbene took it. But go ahead. Whatever you wish to compensate them with, they'll also take that too.
Can I teach
No,
William
just
the press-
food, basic
Okay.
things.
Okay.
You teach them what? Sorry, was that Phil?
the prestidigitation spell?
You really want to try to teach them? It's very possible.
Oh
I'll
yeah.
I'll also
So-
try to teach Martin mend.
So if you guys really want to teach these guys something, every single legit day in your Discord channel, all you have to do is a single rule. Now, if you haven't hooked up your characters via D&D Beyond via Discord, you can work on that, or you could just roll straight up R/R, or even the commands roll, whatever the fuck it comes up with, and then the dice like you do here. A D20 plus your proficiency, which I think is the same for all of you.
How do you connect Discord to D&D Beyond?
Oof, man, I haven't connected a Discord character in a decade, but I
Uh-oh.
believe it's slash import. Now everything's a slash command, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be something like that. But let me see. Slash import slash. I mean, slash help is a great start. If you hit slash help, it's going to DM you or put you right there in suggestions. That's new. Next steps. That's all new. Oh, does it still use some commands? Interesting. Let's see. Import help. No, that didn't work either. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But there's a whole thing in there. I know for sure if I ask one of the people in the players thing, they're gonna tell us because they roll all the time. So watch out, say now.
Exclamation point import. Exclamation point import.
You got it. I don't know. I actually have a channel somewhere in here that has all the old codes that I created, or not the codes I created, but like the combat templates. Here, I'll ping you guys here. I don't know if these work still. I really hope they do. But, you know, they changed the Discord so much. So with the slash commands, but this is the actual old school, like actual typing in commands that would work. But nonetheless, on there, all you have to do every single day is to do that and your spellcasting modifier, which is a +5. So I guess your attack modifier would be the correct term for spellcasting. And a +6 for Wrath. Man, Wrath, you were like a spellcasting monster if you got offensive. Just saying.
But I'm not.
What was your subclass?
Subclass?
Yeah, bro, you're level 3. You should have a subclass.
Oh, my oath?
Oh, conquest. I see. Yeah, that should
Yeah.
technically be offensive. I guess it kind of is, but it's not like
Yeah.
different offensive. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah. I'm looking at it now. Okay. Cool. Anyways, so yeah, that's that. But so if you guys want to teach a little right, guys, you just have to successfully for 3 sessions, like not like each of our sessions, but like day by day between those 3 sessions from the first session and the last session, not the entire week of the 3rd session. Roll a average, and I'm not gonna tell you the average between all those days, and I'm gonna keep that stat. So you guys just roll it in there, and I'll keep it trotting in the background. And I've seen like the original legacy team had 2 owlbears. Legit stole 2 owlbear babies from the mama, ran for his life. It was an entire scene live, and he succeeded, and I couldn't tell him no. And then those owlbears have lived to, they all died at the end of the day, but I actually wiped that entire team. But they lived up until that in actual last session. So, those owlbears were key to everything they ever did from the success of that day forward. And that was like the 5th session. So, you guys can absolutely do anything with the beasts in which are around you or the other humanoids. So you want to teach them something, you just have to roll a successful spellcasting every single day. That's it. So you got to do it though. I'm not going to remind you. That's the only rule. I'll remind you this one time because I'm going to start the tracker. I'll remind you guys every time you hit 25% of your necessary goal, or if you guys are hitting the proper average. If you guys are killing it, I'll let you know you're killing it, kind of like a hot and cold situation.
Okay.
Where do you want us to roll that? In
In your guys' team chat. In your guys' actual, yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
That'll just make it easier for me to track if it's in your chat.
Do we have our own specific team chat?
Mhm.
Oops.
That Monday section is completely your guys's.
Oh, I did not know.
Yeah, there's a different group for each of them. I originally used to have it so you guys could see everybody's, but it was just a lot of channels for a single individual. Even though some people really liked it, it was more like if you really cared enough to look at other people's stuff, you can just hit me up and I'll absolutely give you guys access to see what the other campaigns are up to. It's all open. It was just a lot of clout for channels in the Discord because they got a lot of shit. Everyone has like at least 5 channels each, and then all the other stuff that I built on the side as we were working on this originally. But
What was the roll
Yeah.
command?
it is. It should be exclamation R and then 1d20. Yeah, exclamation R space and then your number, the D, and then the dice number. So how many dice you want? D8, D20, D10, etc. And then enter. Oh, here, I can just give you guys the code. Hold on. So I did it in a different chat. Test it. Should be that. Well, you know what though? It's not working here, huh?
Mm,
No, you know why? Because apparently I don't have it set up at the bottom. Give me a second for that. Let me get it up in here.
You
Yeah,
said to add what our proficiency in spellcasting?
yeah.
Okay.
And that's exactly why you guys can't.
It's the spell casting ability modifier, not the attack.
The attack, no,
modifier.
the actual attack. You guys are actively forcing this training in this situation.
Oh, okay.
What is my spell modifier?
So spell modifier by itself, I think, is just so it's a paladin, it'd be your charisma modifier. So it's
Okay.
Yeah, so yours would be on the 4th tab. Yours is so for both of you
4.
guys.
Nice.
It's a 4 for the ability, but I want you guys to do attacks, and the reason why is because you're projecting it onto somebody. You're showing them in person. You're not like writing it out. You're literally casting this thing, and it's like like you're trying to teach someone to snowboard.
Mm-hmm.
So attack would be your charisma modifier plus your proficiency bonus.
Yes, correct.
Proficiency.
Charisma plus your proficiency. Your spell casting modifier plus your proficiency, I guess would be the proper term. So if it's charisma,
Yeah.
then yes, that would be the answer.
So for us,
Yeah.
it would be charisma. So depending on what your charisma score is, so mine is a 16, I think. So it's +3. and then proficiency at this level is +2, so it's +5 total.
Oh, is everybody's proficiency +2?
Yeah, your proficiency bonus is based on your character level,
Oh, okay. Didn't know that.
which is independent of your class level.
Huh.
So if you had like a multi-class, your proficiency bonus is based off of your total character level.
All right, now you guys should be able to roll in the chat. I added the bots. We're good. Or if you guys want, you can put it in session records. That'll probably be easier than team chat in case you guys actually put any information in. That's important. So we'll put all the rolls in session records,
Okay.
but I'll count that if you want, if that's better. But nonetheless, you guys should be able to roll moving forward. We can also do like mini combat things here on the site. So if you guys really like are like, okay, we're in town, we're at base, there was no serious climatic thing that happened at the end of session. Can I side quest this? It's called play by post in Discord. I can absolutely run things on the side in between sessions just to like fulfill any of those off things that you just want to need clarity on, but you feel like there should be more than just a, hey, can I get this done? Yes. Maybe you want that RP, maybe you want to have that interaction with so-and-so and you can have it in session. You can absolutely do it here in the Discord in your guys' chat. And I can actually have it on, I can absolutely do the full RP thing on there and you guys will be like, oh, this is real. So it'll all translate the same if there's those little things while you're in town or it seems like an off time when you're not in the middle of combat, etc., etc. But
Cool.
Yeah. So with that, you two do that. Hazel, you see them teaching their friends and new servitudes skills. Do you care to teach Sasha anything, or does Sasha just hang out with you and Miss Sally like little buddies?
I think for now they're just hanging out because I don't know what I should teach.
You got it. You're just like, we're all cool. Whatever. We're doing our thing. Beautiful. So, before we close up the session, for the base, you guys want to make it an establishment? Got you on that. Is there any cosmetic specifics you guys are thinking? You guys can totally like take a screenshot. I can even drop this. I can drop this picture actually just in your Discord now. I'll put it in the team chat, and you guys can like doodle on it, whatever you want, really. If you guys want access to Incarnate to actually go in there and modify your own, I can set up a clone for you and give you the credentials, and you can log in and literally make the map yourself in the program. It's a really cool program and things like that. But whatnot. So this is what you guys got to go. You have a whole out yard, basic front area, greeting area, mostly the sites. You guys can always build up. You can always build down. It's yours. As long as you got the manpower, the means, and the influence to keep it going. I'm not going to tell you no.
So do we want the entrance to be over here, guys? Or here?
Directly north or east? North, I guess.
What other entrance?
East feels.
I'm for the east. I'm for the big door on the east.
Yeah, east feels better to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
You got it.
Cool.
Well, we'll wrap it up there. And definitely just check out that little cheat sheet link I showed you guys in that too long didn't read post right before session. It describes pretty much the short importance of the book of that I'm pretty much just focusing on. They did a great job of summarizing the important tidbits because there's a lot of read in it. But the rest of it is all on me, so that's not a problem. Otherwise, I hope you guys had a good one. You guys are killing it with negotiative methods throughout town. So far, no one has your guys' head on a hit list. There's no bounty board with them yet, but keep up your behaviors and we'll see. Any
Alright.
questions, comments, concerns before we go?
What did we just unleash?
Yeah, for real.
Or unleashing, I guess. You haven't unleashed anything yet because it's the poor lad's still there with the mark. But we'll see what happens next. You did a great job. You took the risk. You paid the biscuit, but now you brought it into your house. That's
We
the
can always
question.
just leave the house.
I mean,
Right,
we can always
Walk away
just
from
find
the
him,
problem.
get him to live in the residence of Ware. So
There you go.
That's fair.
It is.
Where did I get this from? Will be the next thing. Well,
All right.
guys, I'll leave it at that. Hopefully, Chad will join us soon. Otherwise, have a good night, and until next week.
All right. See you
Laters.
guys.
Thanks.